Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are you doing? What's up, Uncle Bill? How are you doing today? All right, happy Wednesday. We're at the hump day, chat, halfway through the week. Hope you guys are doing super good today. We are going to kick things off today with our space news segment, where we're going to start going through. Oh god, there's so much, chat. There's so much happening, and there's so much that has happened very recently in just the last few days. We get to go over, we get to discuss what does it mean for the industry and all that jazz. Everything from Blue Origin having a launch date for its first human mission on New Shepard in 18 months of hiatus, chat. We have Strata Launcher making an appearance. We of course have a whole bunch of SpaceX news. There's a lot, chat. There is a good amount to get through today. So the coffee is gone. The stream is started, and let's see what trouble we can get into today, chat. So first things first, blam. If you have not seen or heard, Blue Origin is looking to pick back up on their crew missions with NS-25, carrying more astronauts above the Kármán line for a brief round trip. This one is the first mission of Blue Origin in over 18 months for crew. Now they have launched previously without crew, but this will be the first one returning crew to launch, which is actually pretty awesome. So glad to see that they're coming out here and we're having a look at the NS-25 mission pack. So this is actually coming from Blue Origin's X account, where they say NS-25 is targeting liftoff from launch site 1. It's down in Texas. I think it's Texas, right? It's Texas. On Sunday, May 19th, the launch window opens at 8:30 a.m. Central. So learn more about the symbolism embedded in our New Shepard. So this one should be good. It's actually going to break the record and set a new record for the oldest person in space. So there you go. But of course it will be launching on New Shepard. We can actually probably get a New Shepard NS. It was not NS-25 or 24. Was it NS-24? New Shepard mid-flight failure. The reason why they have been a little bit on a hiatus is that they had a abort during their one of their previous missions 18 months ago on NS-23. I'm gonna actually see, that's Bloomberg. They should have a Blue Origin. I mean, seriously, come on now. YouTube.com, they should have Blue Origin. Should have had this already going. Let's see, previous live NS-23 should have been NS-23, but essentially what occurred was their rocket engine nozzle exploded in mid-flight, and that's bad. Okay, that's very bad. Let's see what we can get into here. So yeah, again, this was the NS-23 flight, which actually had the anomaly. This was an uncrew mission, so they were just carrying science payloads, so that's good. The vehicle, in terms of the abort procedure, all happened nominally, which is also great. A fantastic failed test, or test failure, or whatever you want to call it.
2, 1.
So that's New Shepard, designed to carry astronauts and science experiments above the Kármán line. It's a hydrolock system as well, which is really awesome to see. This is the vehicle that is also designed, they called this system the tail. The first stage is called the tail. That tail has been reused. It is reusable. It comes back and lands.
Mean sea level. We are out at launch site 1.
And we're going to see here the rocket engine nozzle is actually going to go pop, and pretty much almost immediately the abort sequence will also engage on the capsule.
Again, that's the point where the aerodynamic stress on the vehicle is at its maximum. We're going to throttle back.
Oh,
and then continue
had a
on
little,
up to space.
oh, and there it goes. And there you go. Almost immediately, fractions of a second, the abort motor engages as expected, carrying what would be the crew capsule away from the tail. And yeah, everything else was, you know, in terms of the overall abort, you hate to see an abort, you hate to see a launch failure, but when that went wrong, things then went right in terms of going wrong. So that's actually fantastic to see. So what better test other than an operational test for failure modes? It's good to see that the capsule behaved as expected. Everything came back down perfectly fine after that. The capsule survived. The crew would have survived had their crew been on board. All of that jazz.
The capsule will stabilize. That's looking like a
But yeah, that was during
execution.
their live stream of NS-23. So now we had NS-24, which was another unmanned flight, basically testing their new tail and system for. Actually, I don't think it was their new tail, right? It was actually because I think Blue Origin had two tails or two first stages in operation. One of them, of course, that you saw there failed during flight, so I believe they had then one, and now they should be starting to make a second tail, or already have. But this is going to be NS-25, carrying more humans above the Kármán line for a brief round trip to space and back, and also carrying the oldest person into space, breaking their own record, because William Shatner launched, and he was actually the oldest astronaut in space, or oldest person in space, and now that is going to be broken once again. But that's NS-25. We actually have a launch date. That is the big news, for no earlier than Sunday, May 19th at 8:30 a.m. Central. That's 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So that's what we get to look forward to here coming up this weekend, which is fantastic. So moving right along in our space news, we have a revisit. Look at those browser tabs. I2 must be running one of those new 96 core Threadrippers and half a terabyte of RAM. Well, you know, there's a lot of space news in the industry nowadays, especially with all the commercial entities taking advantage of, well, the massive space market, and also creating their own massive space market, which is awesome. It's a great time to be alive for the commercial space sector. So yes, many tabs, lots of news, and yeah, it's fantastic. So the other piece of news that we have is this bad boy, chat. Look at that. So this is the Strata launch vehicle doing more runway tests ahead of their next flight. There it goes, taking off. Absolutely fantastic. So Strata launch is an absolute massive aircraft. It has six, count them, six turbofan engines. I believe, if I remember correctly, those are the 747 engines, just to give you an idea of how massive those engines are. It is designed to carry hypersonic flight test payloads. So they also have a vehicle that will sit under this pylon here, centered on the wing. And they will be using a rocket-powered vehicle to reach hypersonic speeds, and that's great news for the DoD, because there has been a massive push recently for getting into hypersonic test beds, having a reliable, reusable hypersonic test bed. Why? Because the DoD wants to test hypersonic things. Don't ask me what. You get goosebumps watching this thing. Indeed, it is a great-looking vehicle. It's a little weird, of course, but it is absolutely majestic. Like, got that long neck like a swan. But yeah, the Strata launch vehicle, we have an update from Strata launch themselves saying that today the test team is conducting a functional check flight with Rock, focused on testing system upgrades on the mission control center and the flight deck. So those are the internal systems on the aircraft for conducting a mission, as well as training new members of our team. This test is in preparation of Rock's upcoming Envelope expansion series that will take the platform to higher altitude and enable an expanded range for Talon A launch capability. So Talon A, we have seen the vehicle. It has been around. Talon A Strata launch has absolutely been around for a minute. We've seen pictures of it. There it is, actually mounted to that pylon right there. Lifting body, not really. It's a delta wing formation for Talon. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like I'm sure all bodies, well, not all bodies, but most bodies will produce some kind of lift. And this one looks like it could certainly do this, but it's a delta wing first and foremost. But very nice to see Stratolaunch doing it. So they were talking about in their tweet that they are looking to do envelope expansion series. And so what is that? So quite literally, when you start developing a plane, you have what is known as the flight envelope. And quite literally, it is essentially a graph that tells operators and the designers of the vehicle the boundaries for safe flight of your vehicle. Oh, hey, Embry Riddle, my alma mater. So you can see a pretty good picture of one right here. Essentially, it outlines your load as well as your lift factor, the velocities that you can fly at as well. Basically, what is your maximum velocity before you hit structural failure? What is the maximum load on the vehicle before you hit structural failure? What is your stall limits? This is what a flight envelope is when we actually refer to in the aerospace industry of a flight envelope. Basically, what are the boundaries of successful flight and what are the points where you will likely have bad days? Yes, indeed, Warlock, indeed. So yeah, this is what they're starting to look at. So they want to do flight envelope expansion. So what does that mean? Essentially, you start off with what, your design, your simulations, your basically very simple flight demonstrations and flight tests are able to show you. And that is basically your current knowledge of the aircraft. And what you want to see is like, okay, we have our current knowledge of the aircraft and we have what we think is going to be the overall desired functional flight envelope of the aircraft. And so let's start making sure that our systems certify it for flight at those different ranges. So you might start off, with a system that only cuts to, halfway through the green envelope, right? And so what you want to do is then start doing flight testing to expand that envelope out all the way to your desired flight conditions. So that's what they want to start talking about. That's the test that they're starting to now conduct in terms of the upcoming envelope expansion series. They also might be looking to do this with a dummy payload if they haven't already done flight tests with a dummy payload, or even the Talon vehicle in general, because you have to also flight test and make sure that your system works under the load conditions that it's expected to fly at. So that means that they're going to be flying this with Talon, whether that's a part of this flight envelope expansion series or if that's going to be coming at a later date as they get into Talon A operations. But there's a lot that, of course, they still have to do. And Stratolaunch, absolutely massive, a great vehicle. I'm really excited to see this thing fly operationally, because so far they've done mainly flight tests. It didn't look equipped for re-entry, but high altitude maybe. Yeah. Because it's not, so hypersonic, right? Even at hypersonic speeds, the heating doesn't necessarily mean re-entry speeds, like re-entry heating. Because, like for the space shuttle, for instance, or even the Orion capsule, they hit atmospheric interface at like Mach 20, right? But hypersonic is like up to Mach 5, right? Like hypersonic starts at, I believe, Mach 5 is the generally accepted range there for starting. So Mach 5. Definitely 5 times the speed of sound, absolutely very, very fast. Definitely going to be experiencing heating, but not like re-entry, right? That's a lot of wing. You can see the gills for the APUs right at the wing. Oh, that's true. Yeah, good eye. Good eye, Warlock. So yeah, that's what we got to look forward to hopefully later this year and in the upcoming months, is they're going to start flying Stratolauncher more. Yep, there you go. Absolutely awesome. Just like Haste for Rocket Labs. Exactly, Stealthy. It's a great little Rocket Lab Haste. Yeah, Rocket Lab is also looking to get into hypersonic flight testing. They're basically using a rocket, though, in order to achieve their hypersonic velocities. They're using their Electron vehicle. And that's totally fine. That's totally excellent, because electronics, especially when they can reuse them, which they're starting to reuse them now, yeah, can certainly do more than just the start of the hypersonic regime, right? They're actually then talking about, depending on if they're going to have a second stage. I don't think they are going to have a second stage, but yeah, they can essentially have a very, very 700 kilograms of mass. Wait. Yeah, 700 kilogram payload mass, because they don't have an upper stage in their haste configuration. But yeah, also going through re-entry, just like their first stage does, right? But yeah, they're also getting into the whole hypersonic flight test vehicles. Like I said, there's a lot of money in the DoD for hypersonic research right now, for reasons. Let's just put it that way, right? I love that they're exploring a bunch of different options for airspace launch vehicles. Indeed. There is an expanding boundary on aerospace research in general, right? Especially now, we're going to get to it a little bit later, especially now with lunar operations occurring. They're looking at doing reusable return capsules for payloads, which is not a thing unless you're like a Mars sample return style of vehicle or an asteroid sample return style of vehicle. There are now commercials like, I think it's is it Red? I think it's called Red by Spaceworks. Red 25. Yeah, I was right. So there are now actual commercial companies looking to provide return capsules and mount them onto actual spacecraft, so you can launch your payload in a return capsule. It can do all of the science that it needs to do on orbit, and then you can actually bring your payload back. It's not necessarily such a out of this world idea. It's been done before, for some of the asteroid sample return missions, for some of the Helio science missions as well. But now we're actually having commercial entities doing it, which is actually really cool to see. So this is just one company, Spaceworks, doing it. There's another one that's, I think, a little bit more prominent in their business case for doing this. But yeah, this is also another really big one in terms of research. Is that what VAST used? Maybe it was VAST. I don't know. Haven 1 and VAST 1's missions. This is who I was talking or remembering was I think VAST doing their return capsule. Do you have a link to that? To what you're talking about? VAST, I remember VAST, but I don't remember their return capsule. But anyways, that's definitely another big growing area of they use Dragon apparently. Haven 1 and VAST 1 missions. It's been a minute since I've looked at VAST. VAST actually recently just had some news come out regarding successful deployment of their solar one of their solar wings. Announced their plans to launch the world's first commercial space station called Haven 1, scheduled to launch on Falcon 9. Haven 1 will initially act as an independent crew space station prior to being connected as a module to a larger vast space station. The first human space mission on a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. There you go. Yeah, Haven 1 will be on SpaceX Dragon. Wasn't VAST the one who had FAA license issues for re-entry? I don't remember. Ah, man, I don't remember. That's a great thing, and also then the problem of having so much space news in the industry right now is that, yeah, within like 3 or 4 months, you like forget about it. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. But anyways, so great news coming out from Stratolaunch. They're continuing their flight envelope expansion, their testing of their Strato launcher, and soon should be getting into hypersonic vehicle testing, which is going to be very nice, chat. Very nice to see. I hope we actually do get some onboard cameras, some ground shots, all that jazz. It's going to be great. It's going to be hard to keep up. If you don't keep up, you'll fall, or you're going to fall far behind. Airspace now is what IT was 15 years ago. True. Very, very true. Okay, chat. So moving right along, another fantastic hypersonic vehicle. This one a little different. Sierra Space continuing to give us some fantastic fantastic shots of their vehicle. This is going to be their cargo-only vehicle to the ISS and to other Free Flyer stations, Dream Chaser. So Dream Chaser has indeed already started its shipment and launch preparations, which is scheduled for this year. Ideally, it'll be on the next Vulcan flight. Now, that is recently hitting some unknowns, let's say, on whether it's going to be able to fly on Vulcan this year or not, but that is the current slated goal, to launch Dream Chaser on the upcoming Vulcan mission. Vulcan, of course, run by United Launch Alliance. So Dream Chaser looking fantastic. This is their first flight test. It's set to debut here in 2024. And I really love this picture. I had to show it. Just slap it on top of Falcon and send it. Yeah, could I guess, but you know, ULA got the contract bid, which ULA is ULA, and they have a fantastic record. Notice here the scarfed nozzles. If you don't know what a scarfed nozzle is, I am not making that up, chat, I swear. It's quite literally what you call a rocket engine or a nozzle that has been cut at a certain angle. So that way, instead of having the full bell that you would typically see on a conventional rocket, it has been sliced cross-section wise in order to basically allow it to fit inside of your vehicle's profile. So the space shuttle, of course, had this. Space shuttle RCS thrusters. So yeah, there you go. Scarfed nozzle on the space shuttle as well. Here you can actually see it. So it's basically you take what you would normally have as a nozzle and you cut it in half, or you cut it at a certain angle on its cross section. Why do you do this? Well, to help it remain flush against the vehicle's overall profile, right? Your vehicle has to remain aerodynamic. Having a big nozzle just sticking out the side is bad because for aerodynamics, creates a lot of drag. Also bad for heating. This thing is already going to see, it actually even says it here, some of the hottest temperatures on re-entry. And so you definitely don't want to just have your nozzle sticking out the side under all those aerodynamic forces, creating drag, creating stresses, and then also getting super heated. That's all bad, okay? So yeah, that's why they do this, in order to actually have it set against the profile. Basically, when they put the tiles around their thrusters here, it should be relatively flush, just like the space shuttle thrusters. Slash cut nozzle, indeed. Would Falcon 9 have a big enough fairing? I think so. Isn't Dream Chaser designed to fit inside of a 5-meter fairing? And the fairing on Falcon 9 is like 5.2 meters? High test peroxide thrusters, indeed. Is that actually true for Dream Chaser? I know that used to be. Is that actually confirmed? Like, is that actually the current propellants that it's going to be using? I know that was originally, like, long time ago, the conceived notion, but I actually don't know if that's still. I mean, I guess it is, but I haven't heard anything explicitly. I don't know where I would find that. Dream Chaser, high test peroxide. Maybe. Oh, we have a video chat. Hold up.
Building
we
rockets
have a
is
video.
Just so much fun. Everyone talks about, well, it's not rocket science. Well, for me, every day, it
Kind of
actually
is.
rocket science.
Kind of is, actually, yeah. Oh, second tab. Okay, cool. Peroxide monoprop. Awesome. I'm glad to see that they're using high test peroxide.
And exciting, and rockets are all those things.
When was this video? A year ago? I like it. Glad this is streaming on YouTube as well. I don't have the Twitch app. Hey, there you go. Welcome, Mr. Transponson. How are you doing?
Who wouldn't want to say that they go to work every day and work on rocket engine?
Oh, look at that. Is that their Vortex engine? So, for those of you who don't know, Sierra Space has been working on a vortex rocket engine. And so what does that mean? Essentially, you create a vortex in the combustion chamber of your rocket. You basically have some fluid. It's typically been done with gaseous byproducts. So you might have like gaseous hydrogen coming in this way at the bottom of your thruster, and then gaseous oxygen coming in at the top down. And so the hydrogen coming in at the side wall of your combustion chamber will actually create a vortex. And then that essentially not only helps shield the internal walls of your combustion chamber from the combustion products, so the high temperatures of combustion products, but it can also help improve the combustibility, the mixing of the oxygen and the hydrogen. And so that's just one example. And so they've been working on a vortex engine, and I think they even got a contract from the DoD from it. It's what could eventually be used on Dream Chaser. A lot of really cool stuff with that sort of engine. HTP with a catalyst? Yeah, probably, Funky. That's what it sounds like. Integza had a great video on this. That's true. Integza does have, he actually, so another YouTuber had built his own version of it out of like quartz. I think he used like really high temperature quartz and 3D printed plastics. As you might think, or maybe it was ceramic, 3D printed ceramic. But anyways, as you might think, yeah, it caught fire. It did catch fire, but it did show in pretty fantastic detail what a vortex engine actually does on the mixing. Yeah, is it technically transpiration cooling? No, I don't think so. Transpiration cooling is where it's like you're sweating, right? So you have a whole bunch of little inlets all around your body that you want to protect, and you just flush it with very small beads of your propellant typically, or your coolant, and so then it ablates away, right? Or it evaporates away and keeps your system cool. So no, I wouldn't call it transpiration cooling. But if you get it done professionally, it should work nicely. Nice. That's actually really, really cool. So yeah, they're using high test peroxide. Let me just verify that from what y'all were saying. From Dream Chaser here, second. Announced a major change to the propulsion system. The hybrid rocket engine line was dropped in favor of a cluster of Orbitex Vortex engines. The new unit would be pressure-fed 3-mode engine at low and mid power regimes that uses monopropellant fuel hydrogen peroxide, and in high power demand, the engine adds an injection of RP1 fuel. Oh my gosh, chat, yes. There is, yes, it's on my bookshelf. There is a fantastic book called Ignition. If you guys haven't read that book, it is absolutely excellent. If you have the space fever, you should read it. It's a little dry at times because it's basically the memoirs of a chemical engineer back during the early days, from like the 50s all the way through the 80s, developing propellants for rocket engines back in the early days and trying to figure out what worked and what didn't. So it's a little dry at times, but it's a fantastic read. And he literally has an entire chapter dedicated to peroxide, especially high test peroxide. And the actual chapter is called Always a Bridesmaid, Never a Bride, because high test peroxide has always been theorized as being a fairly decent propellant in terms of its performance and capabilities, but it's fairly also hard to work with and keep stable, because high test peroxide, H2O2, is unstable, or at least it can be unstable when it comes into contact with any sort of organic materials or certain catalysts. And what it produces is oxygen and steam. So O2 and H2O. That oxygen, and also a lot of heat when it actually produces that reaction. And so what happens in terms of runaway is you produce heat and oxygen, which produces more heat and more oxygen and more heat and more oxygen until you explode. I think a Russian submarine had a catastrophic failure in one of its torpedoes, because torpedoes used to use high test peroxide as their like propellant for getting their impellers running. Yeah, it exploded because of a thermal runaway and things like that. What's the title again? It's called Ignition. Let me show you. So it's by John D. Clark, Fantastic. Of course, it's silver, and you're not going to be able to see it very well. But looks like this. If the camera will focus, there you go. But it's absolutely fantastic. Like, quite literally, just absolute, so many pages about hypergalls, what hypergalls worked, how they even figured out hypergalls work, which hypergalls work, his extent at JPL, talking about the performance and what makes a good rocket rocket propellant. I mean, so this is what I was talking about. It can be a little dry because you have quite literally chemical formulas, chemical equations, basically the reaction equations, right? Yeah, fantastic read. Highly recommend if you got the Space Bug. I don't know, it's no longer in print, I don't think. But there are PDFs online, or you can at least buy the PDF online, which is great. Highly recommended. Steam coming out, the nozzles at 700C. Yeah, that'll do it. I learned about that reaction watching a doc about a guy building a jetpack. Yeah, exactly. So I am super excited. I actually didn't realize until, thank you y'all guys for bringing that up, that this is using high test peroxide. That's absolutely fantastic. Really excited for that. So anyways, bringing it back to the space news specifically here. We have Dream Chaser preparing for its first debut flight, and look at it, chat. Thermal protection system is looking mint condition. You can actually see all of the different serial numbers for each tile. What I would love to know, and I don't know if we can find this documented anywhere yet or ever, how many unique tiles the Dream Chaser has. It's a small vehicle, right? It fits 7 crew, which I know sounds like a lot because the space shuttle also fits 7 crew. But overall dimensions, right, it's like the size of a large car. Nope, Dream Chaser. I just want the Dream Chaser. Yeah, see? Like the size of a small bus, maybe. It's not large. The actual space shuttle, when it first came out, like the Columbia's first mission, and Columbia had, like, I want to say, like 33,000 unique tiles. 33,000 tiles. Eventually, like with Endeavor and improvements to the overall design, they got that down to like 19,000. It's still a lot. Imagine every time Dream Chaser has to come back, you have to, replace some of the tiles because of weather damage, re-entry damage, all of that sort of stuff, aerodynamic damage. You have to replace some or all of those tiles. That gets bad. That gets bad very fast from an operational standpoint. So would definitely love to know how many tiles this thing actually has in terms of its unique. Are those ablative? So this is Tough Rock, I'm pretty sure. Tough Rock is a fantastic acronym. Thermal protection system. Tough Rock is toughened, unipiece, fibrous, reinforced, oxidation resistant composite. Tough Rock. It's not the same thing that the space shuttle tiles were made of. So essentially these are, I think these do ablate, but it's like a very small amount. They're fantastic insulation. They are Tough Rock is designed to be reused, which is why the Dream Chaser and other hypersonic class or reentry class vehicles use it. I think the United States Space Force, the X-37 uses it, right? The X-37B, this little guy. The big DoD secret spaceflight plane that's broken the record for like longest days in space of a returnable, reusable spacecraft. It's like 1,000 days or whatever it is. Yeah, so this thing also uses Tough Rock. You can see, in general, yes, it ablates. You can see in the nose at the hottest point during its reentry. It looks a little scorched, but overall, it's designed to be very resistant and reusable. So, in general, it's a reusable TPS system, which is also fantastic. Yeah. Is there a reason we can't use aerogel yet? Is Tough Rock expensive? Yes. I mean, pretty much any aerospace grade material is expensive. It's all relative, right? Like, what do you mean by expensive? You know, is $5,000 a tile expensive? Probably to you wanting to buy one, yes, but for an aerospace company that has a $100 million contract to build one and send it into space, probably not, right? So that's what I mean. It's relative. I'm sure with modern manufacturing capabilities and things like that, Tough Rock in general is not super expensive, relatively speaking. But again, it's all relative, right? What's with the holes in the white tiles? That's a good question. I'm not sure. It looks like they might be slots for getting into all of the different... well, actually, no, this is only on the white tiles, right? It's not on the black tiles. That's a good question. I am not certain. I don't know if that's... because the white tiles, right, they're not going to see as much re-entry heating. So if they have sensors embedded in there, or if they have these so that way they can more easily get to the mounting holes for the tiles, but not even all of them have it. So it's a good question. I'm not sure. I am not sure. Holy white tiles, indeed. First rule of government spending: why buy one when you can get two at twice the price? Exactly. Yeah, we'll chill because Twitch decided to give an ad for a second, but yep. Probably exorbitantly expensive, indeed. But yeah, you know, I'm not sure why only some of these tiles have these holes in it. I wonder if anybody asked and got an answer. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and post it. See if we get a response or anything like that. Is $5,000 a tile expensive for a house? Yes. As a protection for an 8 to 9 figure vehicle, not really. Exactly, Troll Sama. How are you doing, by the way? No ad here. There you go, Warlock. What's good, man? Okay, so just spend 1 second more on this. It's actually really cool to see the underlying structure of Dream Chaser as well. This is actually the body of the spacecraft. You can actually see that in some of the pictures, if we can actually find them on here. Yeah, see? So that's the actual structural material under, you know, that's basically the structural skin of the vehicle, is that material right there that we're just starting to see peek out of these images. And then we also have inside of the scarfed nozzles, these are the downward facing thrusters for attitude control, the very important remove before flight tag. And Oslo coming in with the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very, very much for that. For 11 Kerbal years of support. How are you doing? 11 Kerbal years of support. I get a mass sub payment plan. I know, right? Yeah, actually, that sounds like a pretty interesting tank that Twitch should look to do. You know, be like, hey, you can buy 10 subs for, you know, 10% off what it would normally be or something. I don't know. But yeah, Twitch Turbo, in my opinion, is worth it. That's what I use. It's great if you don't like ads, because that can be a thing. And then we also have this picture as well. I always see a mini Dream Chaser and the tail of Dream Chaser in this shot. I don't know if you guys can see it, because of the reflections on the black tiles makes it look like the the white tiles on the actual Dream Chaser itself, and that looks like the nose. But yeah, anyways, fantastic shot. We have this update here from May 10th of Dream Chaser. This is the Tenacity Dream Chaser. Is launched, or is scheduled to launch in 2024, embarking on the first of 7 missions. Yeah, first of 7 missions. Sierra Nevada is making more of these, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. All right. Last but not least, more Sierra Space. This is coming from their Twitter feed, their X feed as of today. Somebody asked if we are getting a crewed version anytime soon. Have they already started development of that crew version? Because remember, Dream Chaser started off as a crew variant. Then the crew resupply contracts, the CRS missions, which is currently slated for SpaceX and Boeing, right? Got outfitted, and then we have the commercial resupply contracts. So that was commercial crew contracts. We also got commercial resupply contracts, the CRS missions. Dream Chaser's a part of that. They got a part of that bid. So they actually turned their, what would have been their crew vehicle into a pretty capable cargo vehicle. Let's see. So their vehicle for cargo is a variant of their crew vehicle. It doesn't, of course, have all of their crew life support systems and things like that that an actual crew system would have. It doesn't have chairs, doesn't have all the avionics and all that sort of stuff, right? It's fully unmanned. It's like a drone, if you will. They also added this, which they call their Comet. It's basically a extension to the Dream Chaser to not only provide extended life expectancy of the Dream Chaser. It's basically its power module, but also additional internal volume for additional cargo. Dream Chaser is one of the, if not the most capable cargo vehicle that we actually have in near operation. Like when you compare this to Dragon, and Dragon is of course like Dragon 2, right? That we see flying humans, also flies cargo up to the ISS, has a great up mass, a small down mass capability. It has the unpressurized volume. Dream Chaser with its Comet cargo module can get like twice as much as Dragon can. It's very large. And not only that, but it also has like 3 times as much down mass as the Dragon capsule because it's a lifting body, which is fantastic. So, you know, it's cool. I like Dream Chaser. I think it's pretty good. Don't quote me on those numbers, of course. There was a paper that I had a while ago that actually did a comparative analysis on all the up masses and down masses for all the commercial resupply vehicles. But I remember Dream Chaser being, you know, it was like Cygnus had the most up mass. Dragon had like really good up mass and good down mass, and then Dream Chaser had like better up mass and maybe slightly less, or maybe it was the other way around, slightly less up mass but more down mass. So it was like the, you know, middle child, but it's pretty cool. It's a lot of cargo. It absolutely is a lot of cargo. So yeah, really happy to see Dream Chaser being near their operational status. And so that's some of the pictures and updates we got. But anyway, Sierra Space coming back said, we're not building the crew variant of Dream Chaser yet. They're calling that the DC-200. That's the crew variant of our Dream Chaser space plane. But it has passed system requirements review back in 2022. A second cargo variant called Reverence is currently in production at our Dream Factory in Colorado. I believe they're here in Louisville, Colorado. So if you don't know what a typical engineering development project cycle looks like, let's just look at the NASA Systems Engineering Handbook, which is actually also on my bookshelf. Yep, there it is. We have a fantastic look at what a typical project lifecycle looks like, and we can actually see where the system requirements review falls into the grand scheme of things. In general, it's very early in the project management lifecycle. SRR right there. So technically they are in phase A, that is the concept and technology development phase. SRR, before you get into system design review, is essentially the first major review once you actually have your concept figured out, right? You go through and you get all the requirements of your vehicle, and I mean pretty much all of them, at least from a baseline standpoint. You do all of the operational requirements, functional requirements for the system, its subsystems, ground segments, all of that sort of stuff all has to be laid out in requirements. And what are requirements? They're essentially statements on what the vehicle is designed to do or should be able to do. Must do is probably the better way to do it, or the better term to do. So it must meet this functional capability, or you can have non-functional requirements, which says it must do this well. So an example of a requirement could be the Dream Chaser shall launch on the Vulcan Centaur vehicle, right? That means that it has to do that. You're going to design your vehicle to launch on the Vulcan Centaur vehicle. so that's pretty much what SRR is. It's a major review that all of the engineering domains that are working on Dream Chaser get together and say, these are what our current understanding of what our system has to do and will do and what we must design to. So they're in phase A. That was back in 2022, and I guess they haven't gone through system design review yet. They certainly haven't gotten to preliminary design review, which is PDR. PDR is essentially it's a very, very large review, which, you know, solidifies your entire design before going into what's known as critical design review, which is everything before you get into production of your vehicle. So yeah, they're here. They're on step 2. Step 2 would probably be a good way to put it. They went through pre-phase A, and now they're in phase A, and so on and so forth. So in a typical, especially a NASA style of project, this is where they are. Very nice. So a little tidbit of information here from Sierra Space. Did anybody respond? No, unfortunate. Okay, well, we'll check back on that here in a little bit. So getting next to, of course, the meme lord is posting memes. I like it. We have some other fantastic news from Astrobotics and Maston Space System, which is now an Astrobotic company. Look at that, chat. So we have an update from Astrobotic about Zogdor. If you don't know what Zogdor is, it is going to be a pretty long-range point-to-point suborbital test vehicle. It is designed to launch from the Mojave Air and Spaceport in California, in Mojave, California, and land in New Mexico at the America Spaceport, at the Spaceport of America, which is actually where Virgin Galactic does their spaceflight operations. Yeah, they say that they are working on Zogdor as part of their point-to-point cargo delivery. Zogdor is scheduled to make its first launch in 2025, so it is a thing, chat. If you guys don't know about Zogdor's history, this was actually preconceived by Maston Space Systems. Maston Space Systems was a company working out of the Mojave Air and Spaceport. They did, I don't know, is Maston Space Systems still technically around? Because I think I know they were acquired by Astrobotics after they went Chapter 11, but I don't know. I think they are still, I think they're Maston. I think their website is still going. Yeah, Maston.aero. It's now, of course, an Astrobotic company, but this is what they do. They do suborbital test vehicles, vertical takeoff, vertical landing. They develop Zogdor. Zodiac is their workhorse for doing suborbital missions. And you guys know me, I always have to look at the Cobalt Maston Space Systems. They were used to test technology that was going to be used as part of the terrain relative navigation systems for the Mars science missions, which is pretty awesome. And so this is what we have here. So this vehicle is like, you know, like 1,500 pounds. It's got a 900-pound roughly thruster or main engine here, and it's designed for vertical takeoff and vertical landing, testing payloads for landing technologies. This is the terrain relative navigation cameras we were talking about, and it's just a test bed. It's a test bed for testing different space technologies here on the ground on a rocket vehicle, which is actually pretty fantastic. To get equipment out to the soldiers in the field in case of mission parameter violation. Yeah, exactly, Warlock. I mean, that's what the DoD is like super excited in. And so watch this. So this is the Mojave Air and Spaceport. It's actually right next to a few other test sites that were being developed for other companies. It's also right next to, at Mojave Air and Spaceport, they have a very large Boeing 747 graveyard. So if the camera pans over this way, you'll see just a massive amount of 747 planes waiting to be stripped. And it's going to divert and boop. And so this is it, testing the terrain relative navigation systems. Yep, see, there's all the 747 planes, so many of them. What's also really cool, so I actually got to work here for an extent of time, and they're also where a civilian air test pilot academy is. So you can actually look it up online as part of Mojave if it's still there. I'm pretty sure it should be. And you can pay like $1.2 million in order to do, I don't remember how long. It's like a year class extent where you can learn to fly so many military grade jet aircraft. So, you know, if you're interested in being a test pilot and stuff. Yeah, Virgin Galactic used to be here. Oh, by the way, so we looked at Stratolaunch, right? Stratolaunch. Oh, did I close it? I think I may have closed it. Stratolaunch, the views that we just got from Stratolaunch X account. This is where they're located as well. This runway was where we just saw the Stratolauncher aircraft take off from. Yeah, the 747 parts depot, indeed. Watch for a young I2 and Masson videos, indeed. Unfortunately, I did not, I don't think I was around during any of these, like NASA, JPL, what do you call it? The projects that actually got advertisement or you know, crews, camera crews for, but yeah, it was definitely a good time. And there you go. But so imagine this, but a much larger vehicle, and doing this over like 2 states. So instead of just going up and coming back down, you know, 1,000 meters or probably less than 1,000 meters, this thing is going to go 2 states across. It's going to start in Mojave and land in New Mexico. Yeah. So it's going to, yeah, imagine a vehicle like up here. Yeah. That's what Zogdor is, okay? Zogdor is designed to do that. And so, like I said, we got a little bit of an update here from Astrobotic today, saying that it's alive. It's alive and well. Notice the grid fins. It's alive and well, and it's scheduled to make its debut launch in 2025. The math on that landing blows my mind. Indeed. Yes, indeed. Masson was a cool gig. Astrobotics is now picking up where Masson left off. So Astrobotic, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, I did get to work on some of the avionics for that landing vehicle. It was a good time. It was a very good time. But anyways, Zogdor, Astrobotics, Massive Space Systems are alive and well, which is fantastic. So moving right along here, chat. We got a little extent here from Relativity, from the absolute power that is going to be the Ion R engine. So this engine is being developed for the reusable vehicle that Relativity is going to produce in the very near future, the Terran R vehicle. If you guys haven't seen the Terran R vehicle, it's gonna look pretty good. It's gonna be pretty sweet, chat. There it is. So Relativity still looking for their Terran vehicle to take off. That should hopefully be coming into fruition. And now we have Terran R, reusable, grid fins, landing gear. It's the way of the future, chat. The way of the future. All right. Yeah, 268,000 pounds. What is that in kilonewtons? Man, why you gotta be like this? There's really just no conversion, huh? There we go. 1,100. Yeah, almost 1,200 kilonewtons. That's more than a Merlin 1 1D engine from Falcon 9. I think Falcon 9's Merlin can produce like around 950 kilonewtons. So this is more than that even, which is kind of crazy. Yes, 1.2 meganewtons. Yes, all of the different divisions, indeed. But yeah, so anyways, Relativity has unleashed 100% power test here at NASA Stennis for a 268,000 pound thrust full power hot fire, which is of course one of the major milestones that you have to do for any new propulsion system, is test it at full power, make sure it operates under the loads, it operates under the thermal cycles, all of that jazz. Yeah, we got the pretty colors and sound, chat. Warning, Will Robinson, warning. Let's check that out one more time. I get to that real quick, Zyger. Very nice. Look at the condensation happen around the nozzle. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that definitely looks like a Methalox engine. Let's actually see. Is it staged combustion or anything like that? I actually want to see what kind of engine cycle is it actually. Let's see, it's going to be 18 foot, so 5 meter payload fairing. It's going to be roughly a 5 meter diameter vehicle, 23 metric tons to low Earth orbit. So yeah, it's basically, so 23.5 metric tons to low Earth orbit is essentially what Falcon 9 can do in expendable mode, roughly speaking. Like in reusable mode, I think the rough maximum that Falcon 9 can do, not Falcon Heavy, Falcon 9, is like around 17 to 18 metric tons. So it's a little bit larger, but of course in expendable mode, Falcon 9 can launch like 22, 24 metric tons to low Earth orbit. See, rapid reusability, cold gas, grid fins, of course. Here we go. Okay, so the Ion are 3D printed, of course. They all are these days. And of course, relativity. We all know relativity. Relativity is same as for 3D printing their entire rockets. So, LOX, subcooled, methane, high pressure. Oh, it's just a gas. So it's an open gas generator cycle. Fair enough. Nice. You actually have 2 turbo pumps here for methane and oxygen. Heck yes. It's just a gas generator cycle. So it's not like full stage or anything like that. Actually, I guess I should have realized that from this when you actually have the exhaust on the side. But yeah, that's actually really awesome. Yes, of course it's Methalox. You could definitely tell it's Methalox, but yeah, good to see. They actually have 2 twin turbo pumps. Most excellent. So yeah, that is Relativity and their Terran R vehicle. Pretty nice. So Terran R, it's going to be an absolute powerhouse. Really like to see Relativity doing well. If you guys have been following Relativity Space, if you guys don't know, they are the ones that are basically 3D printing their entire rocket. They actually got their initial investment by building out the first massive 3D printer that could actually print large structures. So that's what they got their startup money from. Let's see if we can actually find it. Relativity Space, relativityspace.com. They should have a page for it still, I think. Additive. Yeah, see? So they have these massive rooms of these 3D printers that they actually built and developed in-house. It's their own thing. It's not like they contracted a company to do this. And there it is. It's on a massive wheel, and it's basically just a large welding machine and metal pumping machine that puts it all together. And then I'm sure they bake it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, pretty awesome. It's an entire, they want to like 3D print like 98% of their rocket. Like the entire structure of the vehicle is 3D printed. Their engines are 3D printed. It's the way of the future, chat. It's the way of the future. Are we starting an engine company and looking at designs? Well, I mean, Misadventure, yeah, sure. I think we're a little bit behind the ball because the market is certainly saturated, but I'm sure we can find our niche, right? That's what you got to do with when you're starting your company. Oh, yeah, see, there you go. This is how they do it. Look at that. I accept. See? So that's their 3D print machine. It's just a large, like, automobile robotic arm that has their additive manufacturing end effector on it. Pretty good. Just need a little capital. Yeah, you know, $3, sure, 100%. Anyways, getting back to what you said or asked, Iger, you asked, is rotating detonation engine technology going to give us orbital velocity on demand? I guess it depends on what you mean by that. So the nice thing, or I guess the attractive thing about the rotating detonation engine, right, is that it can produce a lot of thrust at less fuel consumption than a typical conventional rocket. Why? Because instead of just pumping a whole bunch of your propellant into a combustion chamber and then using conflagration to combust those products and send it out into, you know, out through the nozzle, you're basically doing that on a very small scale on multiple, well, quite literally detonations. You're detonating the propellant versus conflagration. So you get a lot more energy for a lot less fuel consumption. And so when you do that at a precise timing and multiple times around your engine, you can basically fill up that combustion chamber or whatever and produce a lot of thrust at a much lower consumption rate. So it's not necessarily going to be the technology, at least as it stands right now. Of course, it's still in its very baby state. That's going to, you know, completely revolutionize 100% all of the, you know, way we do things, but it's going to be very, very good for sure. Like I would definitely see it almost taking on the extent that reusable rockets has, right? You can certainly get to space without a reusable rocket, but as we see, it's quite nice. Reusability goes a long way, right, in terms of the economic value of your launch vehicle. So that's how I kind of see it. Would make variable nozzles work efficiently. That's also true, yeah. Yeah, so like I said, I think it's definitely going to be an important technology. I can't wait to see it come into fruition. Look how big Relativity Space's factory is. I actually don't think I haven't checked on their website in a while, so I haven't actually seen some of these views here. I think I've seen this like picture before, but not like the whole thing. They have a massive space. I mean, they have a massive facility down at Kennedy, near Kennedy Space Center. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Relativity Space. They're definitely one to watch, chat. All right, moving right along. Like I said, we got a lot of news. We got a lot of news, chat. We're an hour in and we're like halfway through. So, next up, let's get into, not this one. That's a little outside of where I was hoping to go with this at the moment. Okay. Let's go with this. So this is coming from Space Voyaging, a news outlet here. If you guys haven't been following Starfish Space and their incredible mission, what they call the Otter Pup mission. Starfish is a up-and-coming commercial company looking to do in-space servicing, what's known as in-space servicing, assembly, and manufacturing, or ISAM for short. You can also call it on-orbit services, or OOS. They recently did their first space mission, which was a small sat mission designed to test some of their rendezvous proximity operations and docking algorithms. That's essentially what Starfish Space started with. SpaceX employees, by the way, or were they Blue Origin? I think they're former SpaceX employees, but they could be former Blue Origin employees. Anyways, yeah, so their mission started off when they were deployed from their carrier vehicle. They somehow got into a rotation of 330 degrees per second. That's really fast, chat. That's very fast for a spacecraft to be tumbling at 330 degrees per second. That's almost a full revolution per second. That's bad, okay? And so at the start of their mission, it seemed like their mission actually might be a loss. They brought their system back with some very, very smart use of, I believe they were using their magnetorquers that they had on board. They were cycling them on and off at certain periods, and they were able to slow that down to get the system back into, well, essentially stable attitude control. Absolutely phenomenal. Took a very, very long time, but they were able to do it. So that was hurdle number one. Hurdle number two. This is an RPOD mission, a Rendezvous Proximity Operation Docking Test mission, meaning that typically you have your vehicle perform maneuvers with a propulsion system. Well, guess what? One of their thrusters failed and experienced problems during their checkout after they got their 330 degrees per second rotation tumbling into control. So they then decided, like, you know, what can we do? What can we do with this and all that sort of stuff? What sort of effects does that have on the mission? We finally got an update, and it's quite good. Starfish Space, in partnership with D-Orbit. If you guys don't know D-Orbit, D-Orbit is also a great company. I believe they're Italian? Where are they actually located? They might not be Italian. I can never remember. Does it say? Let's see. Where are they? Careers. Let's see, where are these careers located? Yeah, Italy. So they are in Italy. But anyways, D-Orbit is doing the last mile logistics services. They basically developed this little spacecraft platform that's designed to deploy CubeSats, designed to deploy small sats, designed to be a space platform for systems as well. Wow, what a funky mission concept they have going on in the video background. That's just like propulsion module. That was actually pretty cool. But so they teamed up with Starfish, and they announced the successful on-orbit rendezvous between Starfish's Otter Pup and D-Orbit's Ion vehicle. The Starfish team meticulously planned and executed precise maneuvers for the Ion spacecraft, leading to the successful rendezvous. During this operation, Otter Pup captured images of the Ion spacecraft as it maneuvered nearby. This achievement marks a remarkable engineering feat and represents a pivotal step towards realizing cost-effective satellite service solutions. So what does this really mean? The operations. After successfully overcoming initial rotation rates exceeding 330 degrees per second and addressing a thruster anomaly during a subsequent commissioning phase, Starship aimed to optimize the utilization of Otter Pup for testing and validation of its core technologies, its RPOD algorithms. Typically how RPOD is done today, you have some sort of imaging system. Usually it can be multiple imaging systems, so you can have whether that's stereo optics, or you can have different imaging systems that are optimized for different ranges, so you can get better measurements as you're doing your approach. In January, Starfish and D-Orbit collaboratively decided to undertake a rendezvous mission. Collaborative planning for the rendezvous commenced with close cooperation between the teams at Starfish and D-Orbit to evaluate the mission's feasibility, considering that the Ion satellite was not initially intended for such operations. The Starfish team directed D-Orbit to execute fine-tuned maneuvers, positioning the Ion spacecraft in close proximity to Otter Pup, probably doing what's known as a walking safety ellipse. Under close scrutiny, Otter Pup captured very unique images of the Ion spacecraft as it navigated in its proximity. In mid-April, Otter Pup and Ion were in the right configuration for the rendezvous attempt. Ion gradually approached Otter Pup, converging to within approximately 1 kilometer. On Friday, April 19th, Otter Pup maneuvered to align its cameras and successfully captured images of Ion. So yeah, instead of using their vehicle to do their RPOD systems, they were able to collaborate with D-Orbit, an entirely different company using an entirely different system, to do their mission successfully, which is, to me, like, absolutely beautiful, like, you know, aerospace company collaboration to fulfill the needs and whatnot for different companies. Absolutely fantastic. What's up, Bioroots? How are you? Hope you're doing well this evening. But yeah, what an absolute crazy mission that Starfish has had to undergo for their very first mission as well. From, you know, their CubeSat being at a massive tumble rate that honestly would have thought, you know, not able to come back from, because, you know, when you're tumbling at like 330 degrees per second, it's very hard to establish communications depending on how it's tumbling. Because if you can imagine, you have an antenna that's designed to communicate with the ground facing this way, but now you're tumbling at 330 degrees per second, like, how can you establish any sort of meaningful connection? But they were able to get that under control. They were able to establish that connection, get the avionics updated in order to maneuver itself to reduce that tumble rate, got it stable. Then they had thruster problems, so they couldn't carry out their originally conceived mission. So then they reached out to D-Orbit, which had a spacecraft in a similar orbit. I'm not sure if D-Orbit was their initial company that actually deployed them, but they were able to collaborate with them and use D-Orbit's logistics service vehicle to perform their needed mission, which is pretty awesome. Are they the ones who rendezvous with an H2 upper stage or similar? Oh goodness, that I don't know if that was or if that is them. I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember. D-Orbit was a company trying to clean up space, right? They do have, or they did have that as an idea a while ago. They were doing D-Orbit systems. So D-Orbit Space originally started off as a company developing solutions for, I don't know if it was part of this. They do want to do that, of course, because they now have a space vehicle that can actually do it. But they were actually developing deorbit devices. What do I mean by deorbit devices? Like deployables to help satellites return to Earth faster and re-enter faster in the case of their end of life expectancy. Thrusters for that sort of capability. They originally started off as that. So yeah, it's always been a focus of D-Orbit. But yeah, pretty insane mission, I have to say, for the Otter Pup chat. For the Otter Pup. But yeah, good to see the aerospace collaboration strunk in order to fulfill the needs. And we actually got confirmation here from Jonathan McDowell. If you guys don't follow him on X, highly recommend it. He is, well, he's an astronomer and he actually tracks spacecraft. He also tracks Starlink vehicles as they re-enter and things like that. 120 Starlinks currently being retired, and so he tracks their orbit over time, all of their maneuvers. He does this for basically every launch for any vehicle that's like publicized. Great dude, definitely awesome. And so he tracked the relative position and everything of D-Orbit's Ion vehicle with Starfish Space's Otter Pup, and you can actually see it over the course of multiple days, getting closer and closer and closer, and then farther and farther and farther, and then closer and closer and closer, all the way to that 1 kilometer mark. So pretty awesome to actually see confirmation, to actually see those maneuvers. And here is a zoom out, so you can see that, started off very, very far, getting closer and closer, phasing in order to basically get back into, or to get into its rendezvous proximity operations, and then finally hitting their closest marks here. Just super cool, chat. Super cool to see that. So that was confirmed. So very nice, chat. Very nice indeed. Not to skip ahead, but did you see the news about the satellite they lost for a couple decades and then found again this past week? Indeed, I do remember hearing that. Was that confirmed that they lost it and found it again, or was it more like it's just its design is not very conducive to like viewing and tracking? I do remember that. I don't remember. I don't think I read up on it in any significant detail. But anyways, so great news coming from Otter Pup. So we got to go for Otter Pup. All right, so we have a no-go, chat, since this is our go no-go poll. We have a no-go that's occurred, and it's not great. Not great. Untracked for 25 years. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Not sure if you guys have heard recently, but ESA's Bepi Colombo mission to Mercury has experienced a technical issue that is preventing its thrusters from operating at full power. Top spaceflight experts from ESA and its partners are working the problem, but the long-term impact on the mission remains uncertain. Yeah, so the Bepi Colombo mission, which recently did flybys of Earth, is experiencing an anomaly. Bepi Colombo, the joint ESA-JAXA mission to Mercury, has experienced an issue that is preventing the spacecraft's thrusters from operating at full power. Bepi Colombo is a 3-part spacecraft consisting of 2 scientific probes and the Mercury Transfer Module, which are designed to separate from one another as part of the mission's Mercury orbit insertion operations. The solar arrays, electric propulsion system on the Mercury transfer module, are used to generate thrust during the spacecraft's complex journey from Earth to Mercury. However, on the 26th of April, Bepi was scheduled to begin its next maneuver. The transfer module failed to deliver enough electrical power to the spacecraft's thruster. A combined team from ESA and the mission's industrial partners set to work the moment the issue was identified. By May 7th, they had restored Bepi Colombo's thruster to approximately 90% of its previous level. However, the transfer module's available power is still lower than it should be, and so full thrust cannot yet be restored. The team's current priorities are to maintain stable spacecraft propulsion at the current power level and to estimate how this will affect upcoming maneuvers. Work continues in parallel to identify the root cause of the issue and to maximize the power available to the thrusters. The flight control team has arranged additional ground station passes in order to closely monitor the spacecraft and react rapidly if needed. If the current power level is maintained, Bepi Colombo should arrive at Mercury in time for its fourth gravity assist at the planet in September this year. Final orbit insertion at Mercury is scheduled for December 2025, and the start of routine science operations for the spring of 2026. So, it hasn't been a flawless mission for Bepi Colombo, but hopefully at 90% power levels, and they're able to maintain that, we should not have too bad of an impact on the overall mission. This has been a multi-year mission, chat. It's already gone through an Earth flyby, all of that designed to help it reach Mercury, as well as get into the Mercury insertion, all doing these gravitational flybys to change its velocity vector and help it capture. It's multi-year mission, gravity assist mission as well, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, so this was a little bit of a no-go here, waiting to hear from ESA on if this has impacted the mission in any way. It doesn't sound like currently it has, in terms of like not reaching its science goals, but something to keep in mind, right? This is why you run your whole electrical system on either Imperial or metric units and not a mixture of both. Well, that's true. Well, it's a good thing that both ESA and JAXA use metric, so yeah, there you go. A clogged filter, yeah, that must be it. But anyways, so that was a little bit of news coming through here on X, as a little bit of an update from ESA JAXA. Was there any other updates? Nope. Okay, that was basically just the article. Sweet. So yeah, ESA JAXA Bepi Colombo. Love me some metric. What's up, Byruts? How are you doing? Okay. Moving right along, chat. If you did not see the flight here yesterday, it was good. So we had another Starlink mission, and this was, I believe, the 18th flight for the booster, and it was the 50th successful mission of SpaceX for the year. Absolutely wild. If you do all of the analysis in terms of like where we are in terms of the overall year, SpaceX could be on pace to hit like the 130 mission mark this year. They're currently at a rate faster than a launch every 3 days, which is just wild. I don't know what they have in terms of expected plans for launches, because I think, didn't they in their plan for last year so that say that they were aiming for like 125 flights this year? Of course, they're currently looking to go beyond that, but I don't know if 125 is what they have slated this year and they're not doing any more. So at some point we'll have a little bit of a gap and a little bit larger gap between missions, or if that's just what they were predicting and they're already on track to beat that. So yeah, 5.5 months into the year, 50 missions indeed. Pretty crazy, chat. Pretty crazy. They're on track for like 130 missions, and they're faster. They're currently operating at a rate faster than a flight every 3 days. Absolutely mind-blowing. If you guys remember, like just last year, we were excited for SpaceX to just be doing a flight every week, every 7 days. Before that, we were ecstatic to have multiple missions in a month. Now we're getting a flight every 3 days. Absolutely crazy. They have become so routine It's like, yeah, you know, they landed for the 18th time for the single booster. Of course they did. Not even a surprise anymore. But absolutely great stuff coming from SpaceX, as like, would you expect anything else? I like their operational tempo. They'll need this when they start supplying the Mars missions. Yeah, well, they need that for Starship as well, right? Because if we remember from 2018 or something like that, Elon Musk was originally saying that in order to fully prepare a Mars colony, you need megatons of supplies delivered every launch window, or every, I guess, insertion window, which is, I think, for Mars like 2.2 years, something on the order of that. Which means that in order to reach that megaton capability, you essentially have to have like 1,000 starships heading to Mars every 2.2 years. 1,000. So, yeah. That's at least like 500 launches a year of Starship. Or if you can, you know, it doesn't have to be, because if you can store them in space and just launch them at your own pace and wait for the flight window, then that's fine. But whether or not we're ever going to get that from Elon, you know, Elon says a whole bunch of stuff, and, you know, a lot of it comes true, but on his own pace. So we'll see when that happens, or if other technologies will come into fruition to delay that requirement, or to mitigate that requirement. But pretty crazy to think about anyways, right? Even at 100 flights a year, if they can get that for Starship, wow, absolutely huge capability. 100, can you imagine 100 starships, each with, say, 100 metric tons of payload to low Earth orbit, and then you can refuel them? Well, I guess that is the only limitation, right? That we do have to think about and keep in mind, that to have any sort of useful capability, especially to Mars, Starship has to be fully fueled and has to be refueled. And typically, at least right now, that means 10 flights of Starship tankers to refuel one Starship. So there you go. If you really do need even just 100 flights of Starship to go to Mars, you're looking at least currently 1,000 Starship launches. Which is wild. So we'll see what that means. But in terms of Falcon 9, they are on track to hit their goals for sure for the number of launches they want this year. Isn't it like 15 starships to fuel HLS Starship to the moon? Yeah, it's 15 is like I mean, there's no hard numbers right yet, but in terms of expected boil off, expected operational contingencies, expected reliability, it's like 15. Yeah. Maybe in the future they can get that down if they improve some of their operations and installation and boil off and all that sort of stuff, maybe. But yeah, right now it's like 15. It's anywhere between 10 and 20, right? And that's a lot. Even at the lower end of 10, that's a lot, right? I thought the estimate was more like 10 now. I want to say it was a NASA study. I don't know if it was actually NASA. I want to say it was NASA, or somebody that used to work for NASA or something like that did like the analysis, and it came out to be like 15. And I think that's the working number that people are going with right now. But that could change because it hasn't been done yet, right? So who knows? Maybe boil off will be better than expected, or maybe they can actually bring more propellant up than they currently expect, and who knows? I'm not sure. But SpaceX wants it down to 10. Yeah, exactly. Indeed. But anyways, there's definitely still a lot going on. Talking shot about my CEO, I'll fight you. What? Ooh, Elon? Nah, Toaster, nah. Not talking any shot about Elon. I'm not talking any shot about Elon. But yeah, looking good, chat. Looking good. A line. Oh my gosh, can you imagine seeing? Not Starliner, Starlink satellite line. Can you imagine seeing something like this, but they're starships? Can you imagine that? Oh my goodness, that would be crazy to see. So this is the vehicle that wants to be refueled, and these are the refueling starships coming to refuel it. That would be insane. One day, maybe, chat. One day. Aren't they trying to extend Super Heavy, add 2 more engines too? Yep, they are. Yep, the current design philosophy, or that we know of, I think for SpaceX, whether it's rumored or not, is 35 engines, right? So yeah. But yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, if they were already having trouble with astronomers for Starlink and the reflectivity of Starlink satellites, can you imagine what the astronomy community is going to be up in arms with SpaceX with Starship? If that's what they end up doing. My concern with Starship is launch velocity effects on the human occupants. Well, it remains to be seen exactly how they're going to carry out the whole human rating things and the operations for that. I mean, we don't even have a Starship in orbit yet, you know? We haven't even been able to well, I mean, I guess we technically had Starship in orbit, but we haven't gotten them all round trip and everything. So, and that was the first time getting to that point. So we'll see how operations can be improved in terms of their launch. Well, the liftoff from the pad was fast. Yeah, I saw it. But, you know, just because it looks fast, we gotta know the G load, right? Because even if it looks fast, it's very, very tall, so perspective can be a little deceiving. And there's no way that that thing is lifting off the pad at more than 4 Gs. Like the space shuttle, right, had, I think, a flight envelope of around 4 Gs. It was like 3 Gs, 4 Gs. So, like, there's no way it was doing that off the pad. But anyways, yes, very awesome. Congrats to SpaceX, absolutely, for 50 successful missions this year. Yep, exactly. Shut them down or throttle them back, whatever needs to happen. But also remember that booster does not fly for very long. Like, it does not go nearly as high, nearly as fast as something like Falcon 9 does, which is also why it doesn't have to do a re-entry burn. Also stainless steel, but you know, like, booster, Starship is doing a lot of work to get itself into space, you know. I am SpaceX. Oh, well, hello. Hello, Mr. SpaceX, how are you? So anyways, moving right along, chat, we of course have more SpaceX news. You guys haven't seen it, look at this, chat. Starship 29 was stacked top booster 11 today for full stack testing ahead of Starship Flight 4, Integrated Flight Test 4. After which we expect to see a destack and even rollback for final TPS work, because notice the TPS, I hate that it doesn't let you zoom in here. Yeah, there's some tiles missing, you know, but you know, that's fine. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. This is of course coming from Jack Bear at NASA Spaceflight. There's the missing tiles. Yeah, idea for, if you guys saw Elon's tweet earlier this week, I think it was, maybe it was late last week, he basically said like five weeks for ITF4, which they kind of seem to be on track for that since they're already stacking. So really excited. You have a lot of parts on the ship? Well, heck yeah. Which one is your part, by the way? Let's actually view, see, yeah, which part is yours? Is it that one? And this one? And maybe some of that? They said May, now probably June. Yeah, I'm kind of gunning for like 5 weeks from now. Right? That would put us through like mid-June time frame. Radio Star. I see. But yeah, pretty awesome. Love the Vector engines that are here. Those just look so good, chat. Of course, we have the sea level Raptor engines here. Fantastic views here taken by Jack from NASA Spaceflight, and that, chat, is the shot. Look at that absolute unit of a launch vehicle. It's got the umbilical cord, or the umbilical section, and they have successfully stacked Starship 29 to booster. So yeah, what does that mean? What is next? Well, they of course are going to do probably static fires. They're going to have to, they're doing fit checks, of course. They're going to bring it back down, roll it back, finish the TPS, bring it back, stack it up. There's still, of course, a lot left to do, which is probably why it's going to take like 5 weeks. But like, hey, a month out from flight after ITF4, which was just last month. That's insane. So really happy to see the progress, of course, from SpaceX. We of course, chat, have more views. This one coming from SpaceX themselves. Little time-lapse video of the integration of the massive Mechzilla arms moving Starship into its integration point, lowering. It's actually kind of insane how fine movements they can get. At least it seems fine, right? I mean, I know it's very huge, so perspective wise they're actually doing some pretty large movements, but it still amazes me just like how this massive thing can do those tiny little adjustments, right, until they can fit it into its hold down points. Do you see the Blue Origin photo of RCS thrusters? No, link it up. We did talk about Blue Origin earlier, but I don't know about the RCS thrusters. The tower will need another section or two if they do stretch. Yeah, depends. I mean, you see they still have a little bit of a gap. I mean, I know you got to take into account the pulley maybe, unless the pulley could be up a little bit more. But yeah, it depends on how much they're going to stretch it though, right? If they're going to stretch it by a good bit, like another like half section here, then of course, absolutely. But they are building another one, which, yeah, they didn't they just get licensing approval for development of their second tower? Didn't that just actually get approved of? And we also have been watching them grate the territory over here for a second tower, so who knows? That other tower might be slightly larger. Check out Blue Origin's Twitter. Check out Blue Origin's Twitter. Wait, was that Hermes? Okay, did that just... Wait, what? Just random Elon Musk face there. Ooh, nice. I did not see this. Oh, this was from May 8th. Okay, nice. I did not see this. So more and more hardware is arriving, paving our way to the moon. Our gaseous hydrolox reaction control system thrusters have completed acceptance testing ahead of its installation on Mark 1, our first lunar lander. Our RCS thrusters enable different thrust levels for precise attitude control and are an important step toward humans' sustained presence on the moon. These will help us land anywhere on the moon's surface, and best of all, they use propellants that can be manufactured from lunar regolith. That's pretty awesome, chat. Yep, more spaceflight hardware. That's a lot of thrusters. Of course, it's a lunar lander, so they kind of have to have a lot of thrusters, but yeah, very nice. Nope, I guess I wasn't. Did you talk about that today? That's pretty solid. That's, yeah, they look like thrusters. Notice how simple they are, right? Basically just a valve and, well, two valves, right? Inlet there, inlet there. Yep. Well, I guess there could also be an inlet here. Is that just a, it just actually be a pressure transducer or temperature gauge? There you go. Not bad, chat. Not bad. I dig it. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. X.com. Sorry, kind of just saw something that I really want to. Wait, where'd it go? Hey, where did it just go? All right, fine. Ooh. We've begun testing our pre-cooler technology with Pratt & Whitney F100 engine. The pre-cooler increases the maximum speed of the turbine engine by lowering the temperature of incoming air and is part of our larger turbine base combined cycle engine architecture. Of course, there's great sound. Can you hear it spool up? Buying RCS systems from Sierra Space. Yeah, I thought I recognized them. Oh, you can hear it spool up, chat. Oh, did you hear it? Afterburners engaged. Ah, nice. Variable nozzle. Yep. Pretty slick, chat. Pretty slick. Gosh, that's such a beast of an engine. It's good. It's good. Birdie mock, yeah. Yep, you can see the mock right there. The mock, the shock diamond. Ah, nice long video too. Ah, you can hear it spool down. So good. Entering idle. Yeah, very nice. Cool. Cool. I like that. So yeah, that's Hermeus. For those who don't know, Hermeus is working on hypersonics. They're actually working on technology to do hypersonic airliners because, you know, supersonic isn't good enough, even though we don't even have supersonic aircraft yet for airline, but they want to do hypersonic. But of course, they're also entering the hypersonic test bed because that's the coolest new gizmo that the DoD wants. But yeah, the Halcyon, that's gonna be good. Hypersonic aircraft represent a major step change in defense capabilities. How about that, chat? So they're going to use the Dark Horse. Yep. But eventually they want to scale into hypersonic, people carrying aircraft. Imagine New York to Paris in 90 minutes. Hypersonic aircraft will usher in a new age of travel by making global destinations feel regional. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah. Screw supersonic aircraft. Hypersonic's where it's at. But anyways, that's awesome to see. Good deal. All right, so moving back into SpaceX. Like I said, we have some pretty awesome views here of the Starship stacking. So we are only a month or two away from flight. Over under, chat. Over under 1 month. That's actually extended out a little bit. Before the end of June. That's going to be our over under. Is it going to be before the end of June or is it going to be after the end of June? Anybody? Place your bets. So yeah, it's already stacked. Like I said, it's not ready for flight. Obviously, they still have a lot to do. They're probably going to destack it, roll it back and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to take time. But we're within hopefully a couple months, which would be pretty crazy. Oh, we got an after, we got a before. All right, then we'll see. And this also coming from NASA spaceflight from LSR Priel and a NASA Space Live Starbase Live contributor. Got a nice little time-lapse video from this angle as well. Got the umbilical cord maneuvered into place. See, look at all the minor adjustments they're able to do. That's pretty cool. And just lower it down nice and easy. Yeah, what are we thinking about this time, chat? Are we thinking that SpaceX is going to go all the way through entry successfully? Like full control through the entire thing? Is it just going to get farther than last time, but we'll eventually lose control and burn up in the upper atmosphere? Is it not even going to make orbit? What are the thoughts here? Based on what we saw previously in terms of its control, oh man, it is going to be crazy to actually see that thing stabilize. Little trim motors versus large hydraulic movers. Yep, that's true. That's very true. It's just really cool to see something that massive be able to do that. Accidental moon landing. I like your style, Buzzcat. Absolutely. Yeah, 100% right. 100%. Like, oh, we meant to land on Earth, but we hit the moon instead. Bummer, but also awesome. Yeah, so speaking of re-entry, chat, if you guys haven't seen this, this is coming from Rockin' over 3D animations here. he recreated with animation the Starship entry on the integrated flight test number 3 that we just saw, and it's pretty cool to see.
Make it all the way through re-entry. We'll collect valuable data on Starship flying through the Earth's atmosphere.
So he shows the
at
camera where the
hypersonic
camera is
speeds,
mounted,
meaning,
because the camera is
more than
mounted
five-
on
at this
the
point, it'll be more than
forward
5 times
fin.
the speed of sound.
He shows the orientation relative to Earth, and we get like an isometric view as well as the actual body cam view and the actual Starship IFT-3 camera. Just it's
So
awesome
we're,
to see.
Getting pretty close here.
And what you're seeing here, it looks like the vehicle is sort of moving back and forth. Part of what you're also seeing is one of the cameras, this onboard view that
It's
we
getting
have,
toasty,
it's
chat.
on the end of a flap. Starship has front flaps.
It's
and
getting
rear
toasty.
flaps in the vehicle.
Oh, it's
So
getting
we have
hot.
4 of those, and oh man, we can see the heating on those flaps as we're starting to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. This is where the Earth's atmosphere is doing the work to slow us down.
Oh my goodness, so good
Like
though.
we said, this plasma field
Wow.
is, wow, what a view. We hope to maintain these views throughout. Starship is so big that we're hoping that the plasma
But you
field
see what I
doesn't
mean? Like,
entirely
they could
blanket
not
the entire
get it
vehicle. Right
really
now,
in
it is
stable
not.
control for
Views brought to you by
with those
Star
fins
Wars.
here.
Satellites are still communicating and still capturing the data and the video that we see here. I mean, Shiva, this is just absolutely incredible views. We've
And now
never
it's
seen
going
anything like this
backwards,
before.
which
This
is not
the
great.
biggest flying object ever in space.
Absolutely, Kate, and it's important.
All
to
right, there you
note
go, there you
with
go.
The ascent burn that we did
A little
was to
warm.
get us
A little
to
warm indeed.
orbital velocities, even though we were on a nearly orbital trajectory. So the
Those
heating
forward
and the
flaps need to be
loads that
folded up at
Starship
this
is
point.
going through
Oh,
right
there it
now
goes.
are
It seems like it's a little bit of a delay.
If it were recovering from an orbital mission, and just the fact that we have views through entry, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Again, this is the furthest and fastest.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. It did not achieve anywhere near stable modes there for controllability. So pretty awesome
Make it all the way
recreation that I
through
have to say
re-entry.
for
We'll collect valuable data on Starship
this provides a
flying
lot
through
of
the Earth's
information, right? So we can
atmosphere
actually
at
see not only from this camera angle, but also what the entire vehicle is doing, which really gives you a perspective on its orientation throughout the entire flight. So it starts entering upside down, which is not great. Ideally, you're entering like the space shuttle did in your already preconceived desired orientation for atmospheric interface. It's going backwards at this point, which is not great. And I don't know if it had any sort of RCS thruster capability, because I definitely feel like that was kind of required, but you don't really see any puffs of RCS on the vehicle at any point. I don't remember where they are located on Starship, because I know there's a few in the nose. But yeah, just you can really see the fins actuating, and it's fantastic to see, but it's not enough, and they kind of seem to be in a slight delay in terms of their reaction in order to actually enter that stable mode configuration, that stable reentry configuration. So yeah.
hypersonic speeds, meaning more than
Why were
5
people
at this
cheering?
point,
Because it's
more than
awesome. This
5
is the
times
furthest
speed of sound.
furthest they've ever gotten for Starship, right? It made orbit successfully, and then the first yeah, a lot of tiles falling away, by the way, if you guys saw that. At least I think those were tiles. They looked pretty large. You see that? Just putting that out there. But anyways. Yeah, the tiles did hold up for the most part. I don't know if we're just seeing like ice and stuff coming
So
off,
we're,
but
getting pretty close
yeah.
here.
And what you're seeing here, it
Guarantee
looks
they
like
learned
the
a ton.
vehicle
Oh,
is
of course
sort
they have.
moving back and
But it'll be
forth.
interesting to
Part
see
of what you're also
how
seeing
they
is one
correct
of the
this
cameras,
for
this onboard view that
ITF4,
we
right?
have, is on the end
Because see,
of a
look
flap,
what I'm
so
talking about, right? So right now it's in this mode. In order, the vehicle should be, I think, configured for roll control at this point in order to get it from this configuration to here, right? Which means, if I remember correctly, for the roll control, basically the forward flap should be down, the backwards flap should be out, and they're basically staggered. So basically this one would be down, this one would be up, this one would be up, this one would be down. So that way it gets it into sort of a roll configuration. Or they could just do sorry, no, that's yaw. So it would be one side, right? One side down, one side up. You can kind of see it's not doing that, even though it's not in its correct roll alignment. And then also when you start to see it rotating backwards in a negative pitch, I guess that would actually be positive pitch. The forward fins remain down, even though it's rotating backwards and it needs to be rotating forward. So like these remain down and these remain up when it starts to be tipping backwards. So everything kind of seemed to be on either a delay, or it just wasn't calculating the right control required in order to enter that configuration they needed. But yeah, we'll see what can happen in ITF4.
Oh man, we can see the heating on those flaps as we're starting to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. This is where the Earth's atmosphere is doing the work to slow us down.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they really moved independently at all at any point in flight.
Wow, what a view. We hope to maintain these views.
Because see, now it's in a stable configuration, or like what you would think to be in a stable configuration. But now it's also starting to roll over in the other direction. And you don't see this side extending down to prevent that roll, right?
Right now, it is not. The Starlinks.
Now you kind of do,
Yeah, the Starlinks
but
are
mainly
still
the front,
communicating
not the
and
rear.
still, capturing the data and the video that we see
And of course, we're only getting one
I mean,
camera, so maybe
Shiva, this is
that's
just
part of it,
absolutely
right?
Incredible views. We've never seen
Like, who
anything
knows?
like
We
this
are
before.
only
This is
seeing
the
one
biggest
fin.
flying object ever.
But see, now it's pitched vertically. It should not be pitched vertically. It should be probably pitched a little bit. It should be at a high pitch angle, but not going almost backwards. And you see the forward fins have not retracted at all. They're almost fully deployed, and the rear fins are retracted, and it should be the opposite in order to get the butt, the aft stern here of the Starship to point down. So yeah, definitely some controllability issues that they have to figure out before ITF4.
The ascent burn that we did was to get us to
Some awesome views, though. Absolutely. I mean, this was an amazing feat for IFT3.
So the heating and the loads that Starship is going through right now are what it would be getting if it were recovering from an orbital.
And then now it's just totally out of control.
This is incredible.
Yeah. Again, this is the furthest and fastest.
Nice. But awesome recreation here. So let's see. I asked this in EJ's before. If Starship refuels in orbit and then expended all of that, could it just fall back through the atmos safely, no re-entry heating? No, it wouldn't be able to do that because Starship is still very heavy. So it's all about what's called the ballistic coefficient, Eiger-Zoom. The ballistic coefficient is a mathematical, it's an aerodynamic parameter, which is the I believe it's, if I remember correctly, it's mass divided by the drag area of the vehicle. So it's mass divided by the coefficient of drag times the cross-sectional area of your vehicle's body. Yeah, so it all depends on that, which dictates how much heating you're going to get and how much you're able to slow down in the very, 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 very thin atmosphere. You can imagine that if you have very, very low mass and a very big drag area, you're going to have a very, very low ballistic coefficient, and that's what you want. That's essentially what the whole ERV vehicles are, or the attached hypersonic inflatable decelerator, the HIAD. The hypersonic attached, yeah, HIAD. Called the HIAD images. And so ULA has actually done a demonstration of this capability. Oh, come on, give it to me. ULA inflatable decelerator. See if we can find a good picture of it. There, I know it's on Tori Bruno's page, but there one of it in the water. All right, well, this is a pretty good view. This is of it in space, which is pretty awesome. So you have these things. It's a massive heat shield that is designed to inflate. So you can imagine that when you have a inflatable heat shield, and we have these in Kerbal Space Program, by the way, they are fantastic for decelerating your vehicle through the atmosphere. You have what would typically be a very small, heavy, very large ballistic coefficient of your vehicle. So in this case, they're testing it for engine retrieval. So this would be the entire aft end of like their Vulcan launch vehicle to separate and get their engines back. And so you have this inflatable heat shield that is designed to expand, massively improve your cross-sectional drag area of your vehicle with very, very little mass increase, right? So something like this will still see re-entry heating. You still have to have thermal protection on this. So yeah, pretty much even with a empty starship, you're going to need some sort of TPS protection, some sort of thermal protection system. Yeah. Linky, what for this? Or you mean link perms? Is Aero even significantly enough to stabilize flight at this altitude? I thought I recall hearing that the RCS coal gas thrusters were or whatever were disabled at this point. They should be. It kind of, I'm not actually sure, Stealthy. Theoretically, yes. Because it's still, you're going so fast, and so you're able to hit more atmospheric particles even at very, very high altitudes, very low Knudsen numbers. I think so. I mean, think about it this way, right? The space shuttle was able to use its body to help provide lift, and so that's essentially what you're doing. They used it to provide lift so that way they could steer downrange and cross range and you know, all that sort of stuff. It's essentially the same thing, except you're using drag instead of lift to orient your body, your spacecraft. So yes, it should be enough. Now, how much control authority you need for that in order to remain stable, like we might be talking very, very small maneuvers in order to, or very large maneuvers to make very small impacts on your vehicle. And so that's true. That could be very true. So once it was already upside down and rolling and tipping and everything, it wouldn't have had enough control authority with those fins to actually get it back into a stable configuration. That could have been what occurred. But in general, yeah, there should be enough aerodynamic force even up there with those fins to stabilize it. At least I would like to think. That's, you know, their running assumption, or their running concept as well. So yeah, exactly. If you're generating plasma, there's atmosphere there. Yeah, hypersonic air does certainly get weird. Absolutely. But anyways, chat, that is some really, really awesome update, not update, but new looks at what happened to Starship during their last integrated flight test, their flight test number 3. So again, a little bit of a summary here. We should be hoping, you know, fingers crossed, that we get integrated flight test number 4 within the next, you know, maybe before the end of June. Be pretty awesome. Another month. They already have everything stacked. I mean, look at that. Vehicle has been stacked, chat. I'm pretty happy about that. Ooh, very nice. But it's not in its ready configuration yet. They still have to, they're going to destack it probably. They still have to do static fire. They still have to, there's still a lot of flight test preps. Shady, no. And that was also Elon. So keep in mind Elon time. So honestly, I'd be really happy to get it before the end of June. I love the Bitcoin scam. I know, right? Every time. Every time, chat. Every time. But yeah. Yeah, nothing really updated concrete, Shady. Nothing like, hey, we have you know, a no flight window for this date, and we have an expected launch date on that date. I don't think we have anything like that yet. Just speculation and hopes. All right, anyways, chat, so that is all of the SpaceX news. That's all of the tweeters, all of the tweeters news. Moving right along, we have some NASA news, some interesting NASA news. If you guys haven't seen this, NASA has detailed a plan to build a levitating robot train on the moon. Yeah, what a title. Yeah, they want to build a levitating train on the moon, chat. That's what they want to do. So NASA's plan to build a train track on the moon is part of the agency's Innovative Advanced Concepts program, which aims to develop science fiction-like projects for future space exploration. This is part of I2ock, or NASA Innovative Advanced Concepts. If you guys don't know about I2ock, nope, not you. Nyack. There we go. Not that. There we go. Finally. If you don't know about NASA's Innovative Advanced Concepts program, quite literally, they fund the technology that has a small chance of possibly working, but if it does work, huge breakthroughs, right? So like one of the things that they did was a very, very thin, small thermoreactive electric generator. So they've done that. They've done stratospheric satellites. They do a lot. They do some insane things. So they recently started to look at building levitating trains on the moon. So let's see what they have to say here from nasa.gov. We want to build the first lunar railway system. We haven't even got back to the moon yet successfully, but we want to build a train there. NASA, which will provide reliable, autonomous, and efficient payload transportation on the moon. A durable, long-life robotic transport system will be critical to the daily operations of a sustainable lunar base in 2030s, as envisioned in NASA's Moon to Mars plan and mission concepts like the Robotic Lunar Surface Operations 2. All right. Maybe this is just my my thinking here. Is it truly critical to daily operations? We need a levitating train to move things, and that's critical to daily operations. Yeah, float's also is a fantastic acronym. So I'm not, like trying to pick qualms or anything, but there's always more than one way to do something. And for me, the most simple method would be to have something like this that's autonomous, that you can just load up with cargo and move around, or even like is it this one? Yeah, or like something like this maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that would be any less complicated, especially for lunar operations, but I feel like having just a little cart that you drive around, or like an SPMC or something like that, you just drive around with all the cargo and whatnot. I'm not sure. Yeah, anyways, we'll get back to the article. So they want to transport regolith mined for ISRU consumables and transport payloads around the lunar surface to and from landing zones. We propose developing float, or the flexible levitation on a track, to meet these transportation needs. The float system employs unpowered magnetic robots that levitate over a 3-layer flexible film track. A graphite layer enables robots to passively float over tracks using diamagnetic levitation. A flex circuit layer generates electromagnetic thrust to controllably propel robots along the tracks. And an optional thin film solar panel layer generates power for the base when in sunlight. Well, that's an awesome dual use capability there. Float robots have no moving parts and levitate over the track to minimize lunar dust abrasion wear, unlike lunar robots' wheels, legs, or tracks. I'm sure they've already thought of this, but doesn't lunar regolith have a fairly large metal content? Does anybody know specifically? Knobbly Need Boston Dynamics Moon Mule. There you go. Exactly, Marmot. Like, doesn't lunar regolith have a pretty high metal content? Maybe not. I mean, I feel like they would have thought of that already. But can you just imagine rolling over the surface and you're just collecting regolith on your payload and stuff? Interesting. Anyways, yeah, maybe that's not the case. Maybe not on the surface. Yeah, maybe not on the surface. Float tracks unroll directly onto the lunar regolith to avoid major on-site construction, unlike conventional roads, railways, or cableways. Individual float robots will be able to transport payloads of varying shape and size, greater than 30 kilograms per meter squared, at useful speeds. And a large-scale float system will be capable of moving up to hundreds of thousands of kilograms of regolith payload multiple kilometers per day. Okay. Float will operate autonomously, and this is all unpowered? They're using diamagnetic levitation. No moving parts. Okay, no moving parts. And they are unpowered. Oh, interesting. To move, okay, well, interesting. Float will operate autonomously in the dusty, inhospitable lunar environment with minimal site preparation, and its network of tracks can be rolled up, reconfigured over time to match evolving. That's actually really cool. Being able to reconfigure is pretty cool. Yeah, what's up, Hazley? How are you doing? How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. So that's all. They got a phase 2 award. Wow. So that's like phase 2 is a few $1 million. That's good. In phase 2, we will continue to retire risks related to the manufacturing, deployment, control, and long-term operation of meter-scale robots, kilometer-scale tracks that support human exploration activities on the moon by accomplishing the following key tasks. Design, manufacture, and test a series of subscale robot track prototypes, culminating with a demonstration in a lunar analog testbed. That includes testing various site preparation and track deployment strategies. Nice. Investigating impacts of environmental effects on the system performance and longevity. Investigate to find a technology roadmap to address technology gaps and mature manufacturing capability for critical hardware. Indeed. Large area magnetic arrays with millimeter scale magnetic domains and large area flex circuit boards. Wow. Crazy. Continue refining simulations of float system designs with increased fidelity to provide improved performance estimates under the RLSO2 mission concept. So they want to build a train on the moon, but like if you look at the concept picture here, it's pretty crazy. Like I said, so they said it's unpowered. The film here, the flexible film, can actually have flexible solar arrays as a part of it. So you can have a dual use capability where your track not only produces power for your hab, right, for your habitat, but whenever it's in sun, but then it could also move large systems. I love the clearly pasted in image of a moon regolith mining vehicle drone. That's good. But they're only showing the track. I'm really interested in seeing, like, what does the carrier vehicle, or is that what this is? And so you just lay it on top and they move, or are these the actual magnetic systems in the actual flexible film? That's what I want to know, because they show inside of the vehicle just a rolled up film. So maybe these are the actual platforms that move and stuff. Where's the lunar dust wipers, or is it electrostatically cleaned? I don't know. I mean, it would have to be, right? Like, the last thing I think you would want in this system is any sort of regolith just getting embedded. I mean, that's for any lunar system, right? I mean, it's a really cool concept, like, really awesome. I'm just wondering, like, I guess these are the platforms that move over the magnetic film, right? Because they look like this one doesn't quite match up with that one, and they're spaced. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, this one doesn't go all the way down. This one does. I mean, it's just a rendered concept, so, like, he might not even know exactly how it's all going to pan together, of course, but yeah, very very interesting. They got the phase 2 award, so that's like a couple $1 million if I remember correctly. Flexible levitation on a track. So let's see. The float system employs unpowered magnetic robots that levitate over a 3-layer flexible film. So that must be what those platforms are then. What are those exactly? A graphite layer enables robots to passively float over tracks using diamagnetic levitation. A flex circuit layer generates electromagnetic thrust to controllably propel robots along the tracks. Interesting. Float robots have no moving parts and levitate over the track to minimize lunar dust abrasion. So, okay. So they're talking about, so it's not like they're going to be levitating far off the ground, of course. So they're talking about, they're going to be levitating like this. So they're going to be basically a frictionless, you know, movement. Think kind of like an air hockey table, right? There's just going to be levitating a very, very small amount to be able to move over the surface. But I wonder how that works with any sort of payload. Because they say they want it to be sized for greater than 30 kilograms per meter squared. So if you have, you know, if you have a square meter of a system, then they want to be able to move 30 kilograms. And they want it to be able to move hundreds of thousands of kilograms of regolith a day. Wow. And so they're going to start off with meter-sized prototypes. Interesting. That's actually pretty fast. At half a meter per second? Hundreds of tons, sure, yeah. So like I said, remember, chat, this is a NIAC award. NIAC, standing for NASA Innovative Advanced Concepts, is quite literally NASA's funding outlet to provide funding to the most outrageous ideas. The ideas that seem so far-fetched, but if they work, chat, breakthroughs on innovative technology all around, right? Like NIAC has funded asteroid redirect projects with like lasers. They've done massive power systems for lunar, you know, cabling and things like that. They're massive, like such off the wall ideas. But if they work, chat, if they work, then how crazy would that be? So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this, but that's actually it's a really interesting idea. Just in terms of like the practicality, that's my only question. My engineering mind is just thinking like, is this more practical than just having an autonomous rover that can move that regolith around? It definitely works at larger scales over having just a transport vehicle, right? Like an actual like rover that can carry it, because, you know, if you can just have these little dollies that you can just load up the regolith on and then they just automatically go, essentially, right? And you can carry 1,000 of these on this little rail, then that's, yeah, it works great at scale. But for any sort of subscale needs, I honestly feel like just having some sort of autonomous vehicle that, or even remote controlled vehicle that can just go over the terrain, like what we saw earlier with some of those autonomous military drones. I feel like that would, at least on the shorter end for like the next more than decade, would be the more practical approach. But like I said, this is NIAC. They're in a phase 2. Phase 2 is several years for $2 million or so. So this technology probably, even if it does have a massive breakthrough and a very, very successful phase 2 into a phase 3, probably still wouldn't even be a thing for another decade or two. So I got an idea for space donuts. Well, let's hear your idea and let's submit it, right? Where they're so yeah, like I said, the thing that I'm just wondering about is the lunar regolith and how it plays a role in this. They're levitating in order to avoid the regolith abrasion of having something just move over a surface, right? So it's, like I said, think of an air hockey table, and those the hockey puck is able to just glide over the surface frictionless. It's like that, except they're using magnetism, right? They're using magnetics. My question is, like I said, I thought that lunar regolith had a fairly high or some kind of metal content in it. And so if it's just rolling over the surface and it's magnetic, then I would feel like all the regolith is going to be attracted to it. But I'm certainly not a lunar regolith expert, so I'm sure they would have already thought of that if that was the case. But that was my hesitation when I first saw this. All right, chat, moving right along. So that is the NASA news regarding their newest NIAC proposal. Involves using a vacuum fluffed dough that can be spun into a torus in microgravity. Should be the fluffiest things. Only problem, how do we deep fry it in space? How indeed do we deep fry it? Maybe we air fry it. Maybe that's the thing. Yo, what's up, Nerduino? How are you, my friend? Hope you're doing well. You know, English is hard. Alrighty, chat. Getting into the maybe Nerduino. Do you know? Do you know what's the metal content in regolith? I'm not sure if you've seen this. You probably have, but NASA NIAC phase 2 was awarded to what they're calling float, or the flexible levitation on a track, and they're using magnetics to like magnetism to be able to basically create a train track, a levitating train track for pallets to be able to move regolith around. So if they're using magnetism to be able to move these things around, does lunar regolith have a high metal content? Is that a thing to worry about? I would assume no, just because this is a NASA NIAC project, and I'm pretty sure if they expect this to work on the moon, they would have already thought of that, but I'm curious. So expose it to direct sun outside the station. Indeed, that's kind of what I was thinking, but at the same time, you'd both fry one side and super freeze the other side. All right, moving right along, chat. We got another good little update. Oh, very low to 0. Ah, okay. I wonder if a quick Google search would confirm. Lunar regolith metal content. To complicate the issue, some of the iron in every lunar soil exists as metal. Up to 10% of the iron in some of these samples is metallic, usually as iron nickel. That's 10% of the iron. So how much is the total iron composition? The majority of metallic iron in lunar soils can be found. No, that's the majority of metallic. What is the actual composition of lunar regolith, though? Covers the entire lunar surface. This layer is a result of continuous impact of meteoroids, large and small, about 4 to 5 meters thick and 10 to 5 meters in the highlands, and contains all sizes of materials from large boulders to submicron dust particles. Below the regolith is a region of large blocks of material. Ejecta, often referred to as mega regolith. Lunar soil can be misleading. The components of lunar regolith. Lunar regolith is made up of rock chips, mineral fragments, impact volcanic glass, and a peculiar component only found on moon called agglutinate. Where's Rocket Sage when you need her? The ratio of these various components varies widely from one soil to the next. Glass, rock chips, volcanic beads. Okay. Bar graph of the modal volume of abundances of various components of several lunar soils. Used soil, glass, mare. Okay. Sure. Regolith. Bad news for celiac sufferers. Oh well, I mean it's awful, right? And Arduino. Oh wait, are you not a Oh, son of a gun. Add regular Nerduino? No? Is it just regular Nerduino? No? It's none of that? Is it regular add Nerduino? Bot, are you even alive, bot? I have to look back at the bot stuff. Let's see, because there should be... Is it reg add Arduino? It's one of these, chat. It's add reg, like the last one, of course, that I'm going to try. Thanks. Awesome. There we go. Perfect. Wonderful. Beautiful. Or maybe it was reg add and it just took a second. Who knows? Yeah, we did it, chat. Heck yeah. There you go. Okay. Oop. So yeah, this was Uncle Bill and Arduino first. As a blanket unconsolidated etymology, the Earth, Moon, composites, relative concentration and percentage. Oh, okay, so it is like 10 to 12% iron. So is that enough to be a problem with that if you have magnetic tracks? Because I guess you also have to think, so there's the lunar regolith, right? Or the lunar soil, and then there's also the regolith, or the moon has an atmosphere of this ejecta and other of basically the lunar soil, but I wonder how much there is to be that big of a problem. So if it's 10% of the lunar regolith, the lunar soil, then in the atmosphere of the moon, how much iron is there, since it's pretty heavy? I'm not sure, but that's something to think about, I guess. Is it iron oxides? Are they magnetic? That's also true, because it would be an oxide, I'm pretty sure. yeah, I don't know. So like I said, maybe it's like not even a thing, and it's probably not even a thing just because NASA, I'm sure, would have already thought of this. But that was just my hesitation when I first heard of the rust is magnetic. Well, there you go. Yeah, ferrous oxide. Anyways, something to I was just curious about if anyone knows about the concept and the lunar soil and how it would interact with just magnetic rails on the surface. But anyways, there we go. Little dive into the soil regolith. But let's get into our space news here once more, chat. So we have a good article here from Space News from Jeff Faust, an update from Intuitive Machines. If you guys don't remember, which I don't know how you couldn't remember about Intuitive Machines and their first lunar mission as part of the Commercial Lunar Payload Services contract they were awarded, it unfortunately ended in a failed landing. They were still able to achieve some of their mission objectives, but overall it was a failed landing attempt. You know how I know? You can tell it was a failed landing attempt by the way that it is. Notice how this landing strut looks like this, and this landing strut looks like this, and that landing strut looks like that. They had a couple landing legs snap on landing. There was a few quality control issues that they found within their processes preparing for launch. One of those was they never turned their range, their laser ranging device off of safety, so they didn't have their critical range ranging device, their laser ranging device to help them with landing. So that was unfortunate. They tried to use a backup system that was a NASA payload, I think, that had lasers that were going to be taking measurements during landing and stuff as well, but it didn't end up working like they wanted it to, obviously. So they had issues. They've had issues. But anyways, Intuitive Machines has now come out with improvements and lessons learned, and this is summarized in this Jeff Faust article from Space News. Is that important then? Yeah, it is. So it's not turning on. Yeah, it's not turning on, chat. Intuitive Machines says it has identified several changes it will make to its Nova C lunar lander ahead of its second mission, which is slated for later this year. In a May 14 earnings call, Chief Executive of Intuitive Machines said the company will upgrade communications, tracking, and landing systems based on the lessons of the company's IM-1 mission in February, or Intuitive Machines 1 mission that happened in February, which landed but tipped over nearly on its side. It basically landed, tipped over, and there was a perfect rock right here to stop it from going completely on its side, and that's kind of how they were able to get some communications with it. But yeah, unfortunate. I'm a pilot. I flippin' love checklists. There you go, Warlock. Heck yeah. Those upgrades are based on an internal review of the performance of the IM-1 mission. The review resulted in software and hardware advancements that we believe expand our technical capability to track our vehicle accurately in space and land with 20 times better precision on our next mission. Other changes, he said, involve technical adjustments to communications with the lander and orbital determination. That includes changing the configuration of the antennas on the lander to improve bandwidth and communications continuity, according to his presentation. Yeah, so that was an issue. Their communications were essentially on one side of the vehicle, if I recall. And so when it tipped over, they basically could not get a very good connection with the vehicle. Because it happened to be the side where the communications were no longer pointing at Earth. Go figure, right? When your vehicle tips over and you're not in your landing configuration, who would have guessed? So it looks like they're going to make some hardware changes and some reconfigurations on their vehicle to help improve that possibility of landing in an unknown configuration and things like that. So that's good. Those changes will be incorporated into the company's second lander mission, IM-2, scheduled for launch late this year. The technical improvements for IM-2 are vertically integrated capabilities within the company that we perform with little to no impact on our intended Q4 2024 launch date, which is awesome. They're going to do 2 lunar missions this year. Fingers crossed. What it actually means in terms of Q4 mission, it might slip into next year, right? As many things do when they're already scheduled for a late year, but we'll see, right? We'll see. Not these weak chopstick leg struts, that's right. Exactly. Antenna legs. Yeah. We didn't elaborate on those he didn't elaborate on those changes, but his presentation noted more robust test and verification processes. On the IM-1 mission, the company failed to disable a safety switch on the laser rangefinder on the lander before launch, which kept it from being used as intended during landing. They forgot to take off the check before flight tag. The remove before flight tag was left in place, essentially is what that means. I'm sure it was an actual switch to change its operating mode. The company is also working on a third lander, which it plans to launch in 2025. All three missions have NASA as an anchor customer through the CLPS program. With a gap in CLPS missions after IM-3, this is actually really important. This is awesome to hear. The company said it is planning to fly a fully commercial mission after IM-3. So starting in 2025, maybe 2026, Intuitive Machines is going to go commercial, which is awesome to see and hear. So I'm really hoping that they're going to have the market established in order to actually have commercial lunar payloads and not just having this bill fit by NASA CLPS. TwitchCon 2026 on the moon. I'm there. Let's do it. Never mind improving the landing. Beef up those legs and slap antennas on every surface. Job done. That sounds like an engineer's dream. We don't need this or that. We need this. The critical systems have all of them, okay? Redundancy everywhere. All right. Flying the mission, he said, would also allow the company to maintain a cadence of lunar lander missions between IM-3 and the next potential CLPS mission, a task order to be awarded by NASA later this quarter for launch in 2027. Oh, nice. So we also got a little bit of an update, for at least for me, that the next CLPS track is going to be in later this year. That's good. So they touted their avenues for growth, such as winning one of 3 NASA Lunar Terrain Vehicle Services Study contracts in April. We talked about that. Company is also waiting on a potential award from NASA for its Near Space Network Services program, where the agency will procure communication services for missions on and around the moon. That's awesome. Yeah, so the company reported $73.1 million in revenue in the quarter, far higher than the $18.2 million. This comes from more than $40 million from the OMES 3 engineering services contract it has with NASA. Nice. So yeah, all in all, in summary, Intuitive Machines is doing pretty good. Intuitive Machines had a net loss of $5.4 million in the quarter, an improvement on the $14 million loss in the first quarter of 2023. The company had a cash balance of $55 million as the end of the quarter, which Voncher said would be sufficient for the company through the rest of the year. The company is forecasting revenues between $200 and $240 million for 2024 alone. That's awesome. So yeah, Intuitive Machines is their unfortunate first landing attempt going awry has not seemed to deter them or impact them in any meaningfully negative way, which is awesome to see, right? Because you could go the route of, unfortunately, Astra, which had multiple failed launch attempts, and that has obviously negatively impacted the company, right? Which that is a fantastic segue into this article, chat. Fantastic segue into this article, speaking about Astra. All right, we're almost done, chat. We are almost done. So Terran Orbital takes charge after switching propulsion suppliers on their satellite program. Yeah, Terran Orbital took a $13 million charge in its first quarter that the company blamed on problems with the supplier to deliver propulsion systems for a Space Development Agency program. So Terran R was basically awarded the money to develop a large number of spacecraft for the Space Development Agency as part of the communication systems for the Transport Layer Tranche 1 contract. That used to be part of Blackjack, or what would have been Blackjack, and then Blackjack got cut in just to extend this Transport Layer contract. Yeah, so they're basically developing a military-specific communication layer of satellites in low Earth orbit. So think Starlink, but much smaller scale and only for military use. So Terran Orbital has been getting a lot of money for that. They were actually contracted by Lockheed Martin for 42 satellite buses as part of this Transport Layer 1 contract. So this is where it gets in. So they talk about in this, propulsion system delivery problems and not being able to get the engines. Where are my engines, Ted? Quite literally giving off those kinds of vibes, right? Where are my engines, Ted? So then they say this. The reality is propulsion with Astra has been quite a challenge. For those who don't know, Astra, which has been on the brink of bankruptcy for quite some time, they went public as a launch service provider, a small launch service provider. Think kind of like Rocket Labs, but a little bit smaller than Rocket Labs in terms of its launch capability. Had several failed launch attempts, couldn't get any additional funding out of that from their IPO, then went into the penny stock realm. After that failure, they acquired Apollo Fusion, I think it was, in 2021. They develop Hall effect thrusters for spacecraft, and that's kind of what's been keeping them going, kind of like limping along for a little while. They're looking to go back to private. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. Okay, they're the ones, if you remember, Astra 0006, right? Was it 0006? Yeah, they're the ones that did this, chat. You guys remember? Yeah, this one. This is Astra. Yeah, that one. It's just the little drift do off the pad, chat. That's what that's what that did. That's Astra. So anyways, as you can imagine, when a launch company is not able to get to space, you have some issues, and going public for a space company is borderline crazy, chat. Like, there are so few companies that are successful going public as a space company. Why? Because investors in the public domain love certainty, right? And when you're a space company, space is hard. Space is almost completely uncertain. Like Rocket Labs has done fairly well. I'm actually kind of surprised Rocket Labs isn't doing better than they are. Terran Orbital, despite all their success, is like at $2 right now, which, I mean, it's all based on like the shares that they have expendable and all that sort of stuff. But anyways, like, there's very, very few space companies that are actually like pure space companies that do well in the marketplace. Momentous had some issues, so many things, nightmare stories, chat. But we're getting this now from Terran Orbital, who has this massive contract for delivering 42 satellite buses to the Transport Layer Tranche 1 contract for the SDA. They say that the reality is propulsion from Astra has been quite a challenge. Terran Orbital was hedging its bets by bringing on a second unnamed propulsion provider as a backup. If they don't deliver, we'll still have all of our engines, he said of Astra, adding that if Astra did come through for Terran Orbital, they would have a lot of extra engines for the next program, which is good. But that just kind of goes to show you that Bell said in the May 14th call that the new propulsion supplier would deliver their first 8 units by the end of the month and a steady cadence of deliveries after that. Astra, which has offered its Astra spacecraft engine propulsion systems after the acquisition of Apollo Fusion in 2021, has been in financial difficulty and announced in March it would go private after considering bankruptcy. The company, which is yet to complete that transaction, informed the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission May 14th it would not be able to submit quarterly financial results on time as it works to complete that deal and arrange additional financing. So, too long didn't read. Astra, still in trouble. Astra is in more trouble than at least I originally expected, because even their successful acquisition of Apollo Fusion, which successfully developed Hall effect thrusters for spacecraft, has been keeping them afloat partially. They're having problems in that area as well, actually delivering and developing the engines for this massive contract that should also be helping to keep them afloat. It's just not great. Let's just buy Astra. Yeah. Yeah, let's just do that. Hostile takeover and all that. Went public way too early. Indeed, Astra. They went public so early. It's unfortunate. TWR of 1 demonstration. Yeah, true. So yeah, like I said, great segue between the two articles here. Buy the failing company. I'm sure we can fix it. Yeah, that sounds like every horrible business advice I've ever heard. Like when you hear like of a business advice, they say like don't do that. But I mean, I guess technically speaking, there are people that kind of do that. When there's a failing company, there are those specific companies that go in, buy it out, and then just chop it up and sell it for parts for a profit, right? Like that's the way to fix it. No, but yeah, I'm really hoping that Astra pulls through, chat. I really like Astra, the company, what they do. I really like Apollo Fusion. Their Hall effect thrusters are awesome. Yeah, I hope they pull through. As another launch provider, that would be amazing. But not looking good for our heroes, let's put it that way. But anyways, chat, for the last little bit of space news, of course, we gotta talk about Starliner. So, as you guys know, if you read the recent Medium article that I put out, kind of summarizing Starliner, where it's been, and currently looking at CFT1, Crew Flight Test 1. Also, there's Sunny right there. I actually never noticed that in this picture. She's the pilot for the mission. That's actually really cool. We now have a new launch date planned for no earlier than May 21 at 4:43 p.m. Eastern. So Starliner and the CFT-1 mission will be the first crew flight test demonstration of Starliner. And Starliner is a great design. It's just had so many programmatic issues, unfortunately. As you guys know from their first demonstration mission, they had numerous software issues. Their parachute deployment failed during one of their tests. They actually found that their parachute configuration that they originally designed didn't even meet the standard safety requirements. They then found that they were actually using a adhesive that was flammable. They were using a tape that had a flammable adhesive that they were wrapping electrical wires with, so that was bad. They've had thruster problems like you wouldn't believe in their OMAC system and the orbital maneuvering and attitude control thrusters. Seriously, programmatic issues all around, unfortunate. But we now have potential flight here in May 21, just a week away, which would be fantastic. So what caused the current delay? Because it was supposed to launch like a week ago. Believe it or not, ULA was the problem there. The ULA Centaur 5, the ULA Atlas 5 Centaur upper stage had a valve that experienced some anomalous behaviors during their launch. And like an hour and a half before launch, it started to enter that abnormal condition beyond what they were going to accept. So ULA shut things down, and rightly so. So what did that mean? Well, that valve was cycling so fast that it basically reached beyond its expected life, its certified life expectancy. So they had to wheel it all the way back to the vertical integration facility. They had to depress the Centaur, which is not something you do because Centaur is only stable in flight configuration. Well, actually, it's only stable ever when it's pressurized. Centaur is designed with what's known as balloon tanks. It basically uses a very, 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 very thin, like 0.0. Actually, I don't remember. I think it's 0.2 millimeters thick. Yeah, very, very, very thin. And so it's so thin that in terms of structural rigidity, it cannot withstand its own weight without collapsing, without being pressurized. That means they had to roll it all the way back to the VIF. They had to put it into its tooling that's designed to take all of the load off of Centaur so they can depress it. Then they had to refit the valve that was beyond its life expectancy or very near it. And then they had to repress. And then on top of that, during this whole process, Starliner operators then found that there was a helium leak in its thrusters. Or in one of its thrusters, so they then had to replace that. It's been a journey, chat. Okay, it's been a journey for Starliner. I'm really hoping that Calypso, which is the name of this Starliner capsule, can fly here on May 21st. That'd be fantastic. But yeah, it has valves, chat. Valves are hard apparently for spaceflight. Not only did they have valve issues for the OMAC thrusters, basically the OMAC thruster valves were seizing. So they had to redesign the OMAC thruster housings, or the valve housings. Then Centaur had valve issues, and now they have a different issue in a different valve on their thruster system. Yep, that's Starliner. But moral of the story, persevere, chat. So again, this is part of the commercial crew services contract that NASA has. Of course, we all know Dragon from SpaceX has that, while Boeing and Starliner also has a portion of that contract and a number of flights worth like $4 billion or something like that. So hopefully we'll get a good CFT2 or CFT1 mission here. So that way Starliner can be another step forward to full operation certification. Why? Because then we get 2 capsules, chat, 2 capsules taking crew up to the International Space Station. So yeah, look for that here come May 21st at 4, what was the date I saw on that? 4:43 p.m. Eastern time. So fingers crossed. Hopefully Starliner can go to space. Hopefully it can dock. Hopefully it can all go well. And oh, and better late than, yeah, exactly. Anyways, that is going to do it for us tonight, chat. That is all the space news. But with that, we're not done. We're not done. I think we are going to shift over here and do a little bit of Manor Lords, because we've been going for about almost 3 hours now. So we'll probably do an hour of Manor Lords, chat. Let me switch everything over and we'll get into that. What's that? What do y'all think of that? Medieval spaceflight program. Launch them in catapults. Yes, good. And let's switch over our game category to Manor Lords. All right, there we go. So yeah, we're gonna end the space news segment there. Let me go ahead and tab out of all of these things, because my goodness, there was a lot of news today. A lot of news this week, chat. Lots of good updates. And let's get into some Manor Lords. And also, if you don't know, I just started today. Well, we did it in the past a few times, but I recently restarted streaming on YouTube as well. So if you guys want higher quality video and things like that, I am streaming on YouTube. You can do !YouTube or !YT as well. Medieval spaceflight program. Manor Lords. Challenging difficulty. New patch. Save it. Save it. There we go. Update. Wow, Iger. Yeah, you missed the mark on that one there. All right. Oop, nope, not that one. I want this one. There we go. All right. Can't believe it. Can't believe you do that to me. Did you not hear the pause that I put in there, Iger? Just, just saying. All right, let's go to library, load up the Manor Lords. Exit out of that, and there we go. Perfect. Stop that and get into that. Yes, good. All right, chat. What do we say? What do we say we get into some, we shall improve our manners within Manor Lords with other manners. Let's see, May 13th, 11/31, this one. So, for those of you who are just catching up on the Manor Lords, I live in the past. You what? Yes. Yes? We just finished scaling our first settlement to quite significant. It's like fully self wait, why do I have wait, hold up. Why do I have that? Oh, I think I need to take them off. Disband, I think. Yeah. I think they finished their porpoises. We basically have Kokabika. Our person, our avatar here is Elongus musculat. And so Kokabika has been thriving. We're basically self-sufficient in Kokabika, which is really, really nice. Because I think I have everyone where I could possibly ever need them. Yep. So we're doing pretty good. We have plenty of farming capabilities. We have people in the windmill. We should have people here. Yes, very nice. Ah, that's right. Nuslo is being claimed. I think that's one north this side. I think I'm going to let him take that. Because what I actually want to do is probably challenge him for maybe this, so we can actually have 3 points right near each other in the bottom of, or the top of the map here. And then, or I could even go down and try to get these 2 points as well. That actually could probably be a good idea as well. Because we could branch off a road here and go somewhere over here maybe to this point. Be kind of surrounded by all of this. That probably wouldn't be bad. It's nearish the King's Road too. So yeah, maybe we'll go for Zwayao. So that way we can then take Eichenhau. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So yeah, we'll let him have that, I think. There are some brigands up there that we can attack as well for more monies. Anyways, what we were doing, yeah. Oh, date is May 13th. Ah, I see what you're saying. Thank you. You were being cryptic. That should be updated now. All right. Yes, we were working over here on this settlement, chat. And I think we are now starting to get our approval rating up. People were homeless and cold and, you know, all of that nonsense. Like what? We got to get the saw pit under construction, the logging camp under construction. We're kind of just chilling at the moment, trying to make sure everyone is happy, because I want to continue expanding when we can. I don't know if I want to continue expanding Kokabika, because we're kind of at that point where we're in a good spot. It's like completely self-sufficient. I don't know how much more scaling we can do in Kokabika without having to do like more farmland and stuff like that, which it might be fine, but yeah, we seem to like always have just enough food to last us the winter for our current population. So I think I'm going to start improving and expanding over here in New Vandenbergen. So I think that's what we're going to do. So what we really got to do first and foremost is we're probably going to want to start hunting, but we have 13 months of food, which is nice. Do we have the Woodcutter's Lodge? I don't think we do have the Woodcutter's Lodge up yet, do we? We're gonna have the logging camp and the saw pit. We also need the Woodcutter's Lodge, so let's go ahead and relocate that as well. So we're gonna relocate and put them right here. Oh, that's right. This is too steep to build. Where can I put it? It's all too steep, chat. It's all too steep. What is this nonsense? Let's see. Did I leave myself a gap? I think I did, right? Yes, I did. So let's go ahead and do this. And then I can put them up here, I think. Oh, whoops. We gotta relocate. Take you. Relocate the Woodcutter's Lodge. And then we'll put them right there. There we go. I think that's the way to go. All right, so we're looking good. Resource stolen. Boots. Okay. Let me actually check that over here. We should still have... Yeah, we still have lots of shoes. We have 300 leather. Are we we should be selling the leather, are we not? Yeah, we should be, but we're not. We're not getting it very fast. We have a lot of cash monies. That's good. Do we have somebody in the malt house? Yeah, we do have somebody in the malt house. We do have 10 barley. That's good. So they should continue producing ale. Okay. So long as the cobbler is still doing cobbler things. Let me see. Joiners. Yeah, cobbler shop is disabled. We do have 58 shoes though, so not really worried. Joiner's shop. Blacksmith is fine. We have 10 extra spears. We have 92 extra war bows. We have 13 small shields, 14 large shields. Okay. Well, I think we're doing fine. Yeah, I think we're doing okay. Cool. Well, let's see what we can do here, chat. Food-wise, we're doing great over in New Vandenbergen. We are now above 50%, which is awesome. So I'm still just trying to wait for New Vandenbergen to more or less stabilize. That's kind of what we're looking for here, chat. We got to build the saw pit. We got to build the logging camp. We got to build the woodcutter's lodge so we can get more fuel here. We got to build more burgage plots. I need a granary. Well, rather, I need to move the granary. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff to do. Storehouse should have somebody in it. It does. In that case, I think we can... Did we already take somebody out of this storehouse? We did, so they should be moving that eventually. We still have 2 people in the granary, which is fine for now. We're going to move that when we can. Is the logging camp up yet? Because I'd like to probably just demolish that once this one gets done. Yeah. So we're doing okay. But my goodness, it's been a little bit of a struggle for sure. And I like how New Vandenbergen is built on top of this hill, which is pretty cool. So those are growing. These should be growing again. Very nice. Yep, 52%. All right. Yep, we're back to just kind of chilling. Cool. So we have mine, we have forester. Yep, don't need any of that yet. All right. Like I said, we're pretty much just at the point where we're trying to make sure that we're healthy, we're stabilized, all that jazz. All right, there we go. So that should be good. We still have 8 months of fuel, so I'm not really worried about that at the moment. Are they still bringing that to storage, which is fine, but eh. I need to get another ox over here. Do I have one? I should have. Did I not make a hitching post? I do have a hitching post. Okay. But we don't have the wealth over here. Does that mean that? Oh yeah, I already do have 2 ox. Okay, cool. We have the ox that we already need. That's good. All right, so let's get that going. I also need to get somebody in there as well soon. Probably means I'm going to want to deconstruct this, I think. Demolish it so that way they start moving the trees. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. And now we also need a granary, which I think I need stone for. I don't think we have any stone right now. Yeah, I need 10 stone. So we're going to have to come up over here and put somebody in the stonecutter camp eventually. All right, we're looking good. We can now try to start expanding. Let's see, what does everybody want? Fuel. So we do need somebody in the woodcutter's lodge. Actually, no, the storehouse should have it. But for whatever reason, the storehouse is not transporting firewood. Okay, so that's fine. So they'll get the firewood here soon. Okay, that's going well. All right, yeah, we're just kind of relaxing, trying to make sure that we stabilize, and they're planting for their food and all that jazz. Coming back over here, making sure that things are good. Yep, we're doing food. We're at 76%. We love it. Hunting is still hunting. Very nice. We're at 76%, which is great. What kind of food do we have? We have 14 extra bread. That's good. Lots of vegetables. We have wool. We have so much yarn that we should probably be selling as well. We should probably be selling some of the yarn. Let's go no trade. We have 276. We're looking for 60. Wool is fine. Where's the yarn? There it is. Exports. I want just probably 50 yarn. All right, let's actually do 60. Do 60 yarn. Yeah. Probably could sell a lot of that actually. Yeah, that seems good. We have a lot of flour. Wait, so did they just produce the flour? Oh yeah, they just harvested. Nice. Okay, cool. So that and that are now basically done. So let's see. We received reports. We'll be ready. Don't worry. Okay. So yeah, we have 21 grain, and we should be producing bread. Awesome. Cool. And barley. Yep, looking fine. So that can be wheat now. That can be wheat now. That can be wheat now. Barley. Barley. 19% on the barley there. 22%. 23%. And 19%. Yeah, cool. Looking good. Berry deposits are fine. Yeah, we're kind of sitting pretty over here. We are 81% approval rating. I like it. Over here, we're now above 50% again, which is nice. We should be now selling firewood. Yes, we most certainly are. Could be better on the food, though. Wait, how much food? We only have berries. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Oh, wait. I should press to demolish this building. Constructing resources will be refunded. Oh, but we have food there stored. So I really do... can I go to advanced? I don't want any of this here. Okay. So can y'all stop? I feel like the storehouse person should be going to transport, but they're just waiting right now, so apparently not. Son of a gun. Did I just demolish this then? Transporting timber, that timber, okay. 10 planks, 23 firewood. I don't know why they're not transporting. Like, what happens if I do that and then put them here? Will they move it out? Not sure. But we definitely need the stone here soon as well for another granary. Okay, looking good. We're down to... Oh, we just got a treasury hit. Got it. Okay. Not a problem. We just took the tax, that's all. We should be able to make that back pretty soon, I'd like to think. After we sell some of this stuff, should be pretty good. We're sticking at 50% here, which is fine. So are they moving things out of that storehouse? No, they're not. Okay. Well, son of a gun. So I guess we'll unassign them. Let's get our stone so we can build another granary real quick, and then we'll go from there. We also probably don't need the timber at the moment. So how much do we have? 19. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that person out of there. Okay, so we can get them hunting. Okay, we'll get it back in alignment here. So I just need 10 stone would be great. Not bad. Not bad. Yep, so he took Nuslo and he renamed it Immenruth. Cool. Yeah, food variety is really down right now. Understandable. I'm just trying to stabilize ourselves here, chat. Need the stone, which is going to take a while to gather and transfer. There they go. They're going to get to the stone. They're already hunting again, which is great. Do I have somebody in the tannery? I do have somebody in the tannery. Aha. Let's put you back in the storehouse. There we go. No family. Okay. And we're gonna have to go fight these guys. They keep stealing my stuff. Which, do they steal it from here? No, they didn't steal it from there. Okay. My goodness gracious. It takes so long. Yep, got 26 bread. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. We'll change that to be fallow. All right. And so what are they transporting? Are they transporting the rock? Firewood? Firewood. Oh, are they getting it out of here? Please tell me you are. Oh my goodness, thank you. They are taking it out of there. Most excellent. Sweet. They're transporting all the firewood out. So hopefully that'll mean they'll transport the other stuff too. Alright, we already have 20. That's perfect. We don't need any more. In that case, let's go ahead and get another granary going. Okay. So the granary might be able to go right here. Too steep, huh? What over here? Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. We'll get the granary going, and then now we should be able to start expanding. We're getting our happiness up, our approval rating up. Entry is full at the foraging hut. At the foraging hut. Oh. Oh well. There you go. Why? Because we don't have... Do we not have enough people in our storehouses? Or in the granary, rather? Really? We don't have enough people in the granary. Okay. Well, that's brilliant. Communal oven is going. Nice. Yeah. We might need another storehouse or granary just so we have more workforce to move the goods around. How are we doing here? Food is absolutely plenty. Probably might even want to stop the food because we have 13 meat, which should be more than enough for a couple months of variety, so that's fine. They can help move things around. Cool. We're looking good. They should be building it down here, yeah. Yep, we got one already done. Now let's go ahead, I guess, and start expanding here. So we're gonna want more houses. They do not need to be as long as this though. So I'm thinking something like that maybe. And can I do them like this? Yes, I most certainly can. And then we can fit one long one right here as well for another veggie plot or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. Yeah, then I think we should be able to fit one more there. Let me just make sure. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll start expanding out New Vandenbergen. Because now we need to scale. Plenty of wool, plenty of hide. Okay. Transporting stone? Oh, you're just going, okay. Very good. Still has things in the storehouse, understandable. That'll probably be like that for a minute. Okay, well, at least we're doing okay. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll go for this spot next and maybe build like right here. Because we're right next to trees, animals, clay deposits. We can basically farm out this area. Or even down here to tree timber, even over here as well. We'll have to go to war for that though, which means I need to get out of this negative that I have currently. 38 iron slabs, 317 ore, nice. I have 152 planks, huh? Nice. I guess we should start making, well, no, we're making, well, the blacksmith isn't going, so we could start making more things from the blacksmith. If we really wanted. And get like a, we could either do more spearmen. Yeah, we can either do more spearmen. Or we could do a unit of footmen to offset the retinue. So we basically have 2 stormtroopers, if you will, storm soldiers, storm units, and then pikemen, the spearmen, and then the okay, it might actually be pretty good. So in that case, New Vandenbergen, most excellent. New development point for New Vandenbergen. Wait, does each settlement get a different? Oh, okay, nice. I didn't realize. I didn't realize every settlement had something. That's cool. Maybe we'll go honey with them? Or we could just go straight into trade with New Vandenbergen. Because I don't think I need them for farming, that's for sure. Yeah, let's do honey here. And then, yeah, maybe even trapping or something. Not sure. But yeah, we'll see. We'll start with that and see what happens. Get more food variety and whatnot early. Like if I can put a beehive right here, that'd actually be an apiary. Oh, I can. Excellent. Cool. Do I have planks? Yeah, I do. Great. But yeah, we're looking to get some more families in. We're almost at 75% approval rating now in New Vandenbergen. What a rough start to New Vandenbergen, right, chat? Like, my goodness gracious. All right, so we have the granary up and running now. We almost have all of these houses finished, which is good. So maybe we'll chill until we get all the houses developed, because we have room for 5 more families right now, which would be great to have. Do any of these have the expansion? Oh, and these also have expanded living spaces. Oh my goodness. Well, at least that one does. Cool. Yeah, at least that one does. Oh, that's all of them. All but one. Okay, so let's put one family there. Is this being drained yet? No, not yet. Okay. And this, I want nothing, 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 nothing. I don't want anything here. We're gonna demolish these eventually. Yep, seems okay. Requirements aren't met, but we do have families moving in. Awesome. Sweet. 4 months of fuel. We're gonna have to get another family. Get that family into the Woodcutters Lodge. All right. Probably gonna need to get somebody hunting again. Because I don't think we're building anything, are we? No, we should be done building for the moment. Oh wait, this guy. Yeah, the apiary is still being constructed. Gathering firewood. Transporting meat, awesome. Transporting firewood, awesome. So yeah, that should go down. Hopefully we'll get another family here as well. We're looking okay. We are looking okay. Could be better. Could certainly be better. Kukabika again is doing just fine. How are we doing with this? 87. Really? All right, we're gonna have to send somebody over there. Yeah, we're gonna have to send some more army to do our bidding. You know what? Let's just, I guess, go ahead and do that. Yeah. Okay. We have to take out these bandit camps. That'll give us some more influence and more treasury, so that'll be fine. Let me see. What do we have here? Increase, so limited by one per. Oh, one per region. Oh, okay. So we can actually set up another manor. That's neat. Okay, good to know, good to know. We should be getting another family in. Wait, oh wait, are we building one more space? Yeah, we are building one more space. I guess they're gonna finish that, or nope, no, they're not. Okay, cool, good talk. Oh yeah, okay, so they are gonna finish the apiary now. I really just wanted to get the apiary up and running, because yeah. All right, we got 4 months of fuel, but somebody should be doing stuff, right? Yeah. Wait, why are you all going over there? Did I accidentally set y'all to do that? I suppose so. All right, well, we're looking okay. Stonecutter camp is offline. You are gathering firewood, transporting planks. Okay. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. Hey, everyone's getting food. Everyone's good over here. They're harvesting. Very nice. Shouldn't probably get much of anything. Although we are getting some stuff. That's cool. Okay, looking all right. Okay. All right, sounds good. I mean, this is gonna be 0%, so we might as well burn the field. Hey, all right, there we go. New Vandenbergen. Okay. And another new family. Heck yeah. Or no, that's the same one. It does that to me every time, chat. Because it gives you like a an announcement when they've decided to move in, and then once they have moved in. So it's like, all right, we need somebody in the apiary producing honey. Then let's do that. We have nobody foraging and nobody hunting right now. Okay, but we got plenty of food. Come and get these things, please. Yeah, she's going to transport. Good. Praying, Catherine, you don't have time to pray. Yeah, hopefully they'll come and pick that stuff up. It's mainly just firewood, right? Firewood and planks, but I want to also get rid of this, but we'll see. Could certainly use a family hunting. Okay, they'll start going that way. Good. All right. Okay, we're now at 5 months. That's good. Please tell me you're transporting this stuff. Could get damaged in the rain. Okay, good. Good. They're only doing one at a time. There we go. Good. Now for the planks. I want the bees to produce honey faster. All right, we're at least above clothing. Clothing. How much clothing do we have total? Well, we do have hides. Okay, we have no extra leather. Food. Hey, we have 1 honey on the market. Awesome. 6 months of fuel. Let me see. Are we doing anything else? I don't think so, right? Supplies. We have the 8 planks still, even though it doesn't show anything. Wait, what? Okay. Get these people out of there. And should be in the storehouse over here, yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's the granary. Right? Is that what I saw? Yeah, they were in the granary. Unassigned. Okay. Oh, right. Over here, right? For a second, I heard the, Wait, what? Did they already fight or something? 18? I guess so. Well, son of a gun. Okay. Totally didn't remember that. We got another one? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I gotta keep an eye on that, right? So we lost 10 archers, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost 10 archers. Not great. I guess we can probably build a couple more houses over here, just... Oh gosh, no. I think we're doing pretty good. Just a couple anyways. Not enough goods. Oh, we don't have any timber? How do we not have any timber, chat? Is it not able to keep up with our production again? Keep branching a tree. Why are y'all waiting so much, though? So saw pit. Yeah, saw pit is doing great things. 260 planks. Let's just take them all off of that for a moment. That's also at 100, so let's go ahead and force. This is also at 100. So we can do that. Okay. Hey, we're back to 0. Heck yeah. Another person moved into New Vandenbergen. Perfect. So we have 3 over here, huh? Another person to the storehouse. Is this empty? No, not yet. But let's go ahead and get somebody hunting. We can also perhaps get somebody foraging. Okay. We have somebody in the apiary. Nice. All right. Another New Vandenbergen. Or no, that's the same one. Every time, chat. I swear, every time. How are we doing over here? They should be attacking us here soon. Oh, yep, here they come. Keep an eye on that. We're good over here. What are y'all lacking? Fuel and clothing. Well, we should be... Oh, yeah, I need a family in the tanner next. So that is true, because how much hide do we have? We have 8. We have a pretty good amount of fuel. Or food, sorry. And fuel. So let's keep that going, and let's actually get somebody in the tannery. All right, here they come. I wonder if I can move these guys over here. And you over here. That should, I think, hide them. Theoretically. Oh, I guess not. I don't know. Sometimes you can get the hidden icon for them, but... use them as bait a little bit here. Should be doing good here. There we go. That was easy. Easy enough, I guess. All right. Do we have any timber? We do have timber. Good. Should be starting to produce more. Good. So let's build another burgage plot here. Aw, really? It doesn't work? Okay. I was hopeful, chat. Archers are pretty terrible. I like them. They seem to do well when they're not the focus, you know, of the enemy. Ooh, I can get 10 houses there. Might actually want to do that. Or sorry, 5. I can get 5 houses there. Even if there's no extension, I can get 5. That's actually pretty good. Is there anything that needs upgrading, by the way? Chicken, goat, goat, chicken, chicken, goat, chicken, chicken. No upgrade. No upgrade. These can be chicken, 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 goat, goat, chicken, nothing. Chicken, chicken. Seems good. We have an orchard over here. Yeah, good. Yep, we got lots of apples. Awesome. More veggies coming through. We have a marketplace here for food. Nice. Okay, looking good. We have 177 yarn. Sell it. Sell it. Did we ever unpause the blacksmith? We did not. Let's have him produce some sidearms. We'll also probably have him produce more spears. More shoes. How many shoes do we have left? Cobbler. Oh no, we still have plenty of shoes. Cobbler actually might be going too ham right now. Because how many hide do we have? Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. We have so much hide. I'm trying to sell the hide, chat. Where do we at over here? Wait, what? Okay. Good. Keep an eye on these guys. They're going to be next. Wonder if I can take them here and draw them out. But anyways, we'll keep an eye on them. All right. New Vandenbergen? Yeah, New Vandenbergen. Why? Fuel? You should have plenty of fuel. I'm hoping they get that before it spoils. All right, how are we doing in the tannery? Do we have anybody there? We do, good. All right, we're just kind of chilling right now. We have somebody finish the burgage plot. Oh, gotcha, just that, okay. Because we only have 3 timber. They're so slow in the timber now, Chad, my goodness. How many do we have? We have 7, 5 unassigned. Okay. Have somebody always there. All right. We have 34 and 14. Not bad. Wheat is getting put in there. That's 0%, so I kind of want to just burn it. But why won't it let me? There we go. I don't know why it wouldn't let me change that in the first place. There we go, fallow. That should be fallow. %. Wait, what? Why wasn't this finished? I'm confused. But anyways, we should be getting some more barley, no problem. And then this will be all barley, and then this, yeah, okay. Barley's 27, 27, 25, 40, 39. Yeah, okay. And then these two, right? So it'll be 4 wheat. Yeah, 4 wheat And 3 barley. Okay. Okie dokie. Seems good. Yes, but of course. Why are you so far away? I guess because I told them all to move at the same time. All right, let's have you stand back here. Let the archers catch up.
Your orders? Yes, sire. Men, yes, sire.
I might just be able to even do it. I mean, it's only 8:16. Like, I probably don't need these archers, but anywho. A new family moved into New Bergen. Perfect. We can actually even, but we don't have any cash yet, so never mind. I was gonna say we can actually start changing these to some chicken farms and stuff, but not yet, not yet. Tannery is doing tannery things. Everyone should be happy. Food variety. We have berries and meat and honey, but not enough. Okay. How are we doing up here? Are you still hunting? Yeah, you're still hunting. Okay, you're just slow. 6 months of food and fuel, really? Okay. We have a new family. We could have another person hunting, but anywho, we're kind of chill for the moment on New Vandenbergen. Let's check on these guys. All right. There we go.
Pick up the pace. Keep your distance. Run. Pick up the pace.
There we go. Nice. There we go. Easy peasy.
Faster.
148 so far. Nice. Okay. We're looking good. I wonder if it's actually probably going to be time soon to start another war. We have 189 days. I'd rather do that, hire the mercenaries and do that now. Okay, we're looking good though. We're looking good. We'll have them go up here, clear out this bandit camp. We'll get some more treasury. We'll have them return. And yeah, then I guess we'll fight for this land over here. All right, looking good. All right, so New Vandenbergen, we're getting that. We should be getting food. We are. Yeah, we're fine. I think we're okay. Apiary should be producing. Yeah. Definitely gonna need more, but so far we're fine. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a vegetable harvest yet, but oh well. How are we doing over here, food-wise? Ooh, we don't have the vegetables over here either, surprisingly. I think it's because we have people in the army right now, and we don't have enough labor to do that yet. I think that's what's happening. There we go. Looking pretty good. Definitely got to get them back so I can get my families that died back, or my people that died. We're okay, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna have to start looking at getting ale production on New Vandenbergen. Trade established. I don't know what we're gonna trade yet. I'm just chilling. Either that or Kokabika could do most of the work. Okay. There we go. So that should all start getting farmed. Good. And how are we doing on the timber? Timber, good. We have the amount that we need. One, two, three, four, five. Perfect. We actually can get 8 with this. Let's do it. Yeah, like I said, we're like breaking even here. We're doing good, but we are breaking even. At least right now, since we don't have the labor, I guess, with the army being away. But oh, they were trying to run. Stop that. Okay. Kokabika has a family. Awesome. Yep. Good. Really? Exposed goods? You still haven't taken out this? Unbelievable, chat. Like, come on. How are y'all not transporting? Oh, you're sick? Well, that's unfortunate. I don't know about in the fiefdom era of England or wherever this might be, Germany, the the European area. Don't think we had rockets then. Maybe Chinese gunpowder rockets. Yeah. Ooh, I haven't noticed that before. The lightning that was right there. Pretty cool. Why are y'all unhappy? Tell me. Tell me your desires. A fire broke out? Really? Can y'all fix that before, we all die? New Vandenbergen. Really? Y'all didn't get to the food in time? That's awesome. Can y'all stop that or no? Just okay, yeah, good. Do it faster. Faster, please. I think we're all witches, chat. Impervious to fire. Witch! She's a witch! Look at that! Oh my lord. Okay. Yep. That's scary. She's a witch! Oh god, it's spreading. How's it spreading? It was raining. How's there even a fire in the rain? Hello, game? Uh-oh. Why can't I zoom out and move? Uh-oh. All right. It wouldn't let me zoom out anymore. Don't worry, game and work in progress, chat. It's all good. Yeah, we're gonna look at the there we go. Okay. We're gonna get did they put out the fire, by the way? Oh, it was here. Okay, we lost one stall, but it's back under construction. Good. And how are we doing over here? 6 months of food because y'all aren't picking up the exposed supplies here. Y'all are horrible. I hate y'all. New Vandenberg. Why? What are y'all doing? You're transporting, but so slowly. My goodness gracious. Transporting berries, thank you. Yes, get the berries. We still have somebody in the tannery. Yep. We have 10 leather. That's good. Okay, we're sitting all right. So I wonder what they're going to be good for here. I don't think in terms of farmland it's great, especially with all the hills, but maybe. I guess we could use them for, like, what sort of resources do they have? Clay and stone selling. Just gather all that we can, I guess, especially the clay. Maybe tiles. We could sell the tiles as a good. That might be fine. Where's our army? Okay. Oh, they're so slow. Wait, what? Why aren't y'all? Oh, because I reloaded and y'all stopped your movement. That's right. I mean, we're not really hurting for money, right? I just wish we could get more reliable trade, faster trade. We only have one horse. Buy another horse, because why not, right? We have the stable space for it, actually. Yeah, we do. We have the last stable space for it. Stock. We'll be ready. Stock damage. Really? Y'all haven't gotten the berries and stuff yet? Y'all are horrible. Y'all are worthless. Start getting those berries before the end of the year, if we can. Because y'all aren't getting the berries that we need, so. Okay. Well, we're sitting fine. We're sitting pretty. We're getting back our people that died in war. That's good. We should be building this out. That's good. Okay. New Vandenbergen had another family. Good. I guess with that we could start getting more timber. Trying to see what do we actually need here. Overall, we're doing pretty good. Let's get logging going again. We only have 4 months of food, so hopefully berries will get picked.
Why do I have to carry this?
No, you're asking the wrong question. You're saying you get to carry that. All right, we're getting some veggies, so that should help. We get a veggie crop in. All right. Is that really the fastest route? I have to ask myself. Something tells me it's like not, but you know. All right, good. They're finishing construction here. That's excellent. That'll probably be all that I'm going to do here because, you know, goodness, right? Okay, we're at 11 out of 12. Excellent. That should be the last one. We're going to start looking at setting up our trade soon. Yeah, that must be it. Oh, we still have a hitching post here. Let's relocate this to be, I guess, down here next to this one. On this massive hill. That's funny. I do like how the houses are actually built into the hillside a little bit. You see that? Like, this is much taller than back here's, but it's level. That's actually really cool. So even on the hill here, that they're actually built into the hillside. Neat. Okay, that seems good. So I think yeah, I think that's everything in terms of what Vandenberg needs at the moment. We have somebody in the tannery still. We can start producing planks. We almost got all of the berry deposits up. Our food is now at 10 months. Excellent. Let's go ahead and take one off of there, get one back into hunting. Here we go. Entry is full. That should be for the, yeah, for the apples. 76 apples. Awesome. That's going to help us so much on food. Nice. Why aren't these getting sowed? Is it just because it's not time, or they're just taking a break? Like, what are they doing? Oh, it's because they're harvesting their homes. That's why. That's funny. But good. Yep, got more families. Excellent. All right. So we have 4 families not really doing anything. Don't really need anybody at the dyers. Bloomery is still going strong, yeah? Yep. Bay Furnace I don't really care about. Yep, they're still going strong. We have plenty of people there. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're doing pretty great. Plenty of people there. Plenty of people there. What did we just buy? Barley, yep, that's fine. Yep. How much bread excess do we have? And how much goods do we have? 10 flour, 18 grain. We have 354 leather. We can't sell the leather fast enough, despite having a trade route for it. You're taking too long, man. I need you to go faster. All right. Well, I think the next step, chat, is so what? How much time do we have? Days left, 138. Looks like we actually may be positive on this next year's tax collection, which is good, which means that we can hire mercenary on the next go around and wage war for. I think we'll go for this one here. Set up a town right here at the settlement. I think that's the key, the goal. Let's get the granary going again for another person. Storehouse is fine. We need to start producing planks. Okay. I think that puts us in a pretty good spot. So, let's go ahead and save it. Overwrite. Beautiful. And with that, chat, I'm going to have to call it a night. Going on 11:30 here. So, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We went through so much space news today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We are doing this now on Twitch and YouTube as of right now as well. So we should be going strong there. Yep, good. So that's going to be it for the stream, chat. We are going to probably pick back up on Manor Lords maybe next week. I really want to play some Kerbal Space Program, get back into more space news probably here on Friday. So that's what we have in store. So have a wonderful night. Have a great Thursday, since I'm not going to see you. But I'll see you guys here on Friday. Have a good night, everybody.